Everybody.
Oh, thank heaven for 7-Eleven.
Here again. Oh,
and not a moment too late.
I mean, it wasn't a moment too late. It was simple.
It wasn't. It was just. Anyway.
We arrive when we arrive. I got this.
All right. So.
Excuse me.
Go ahead.
Everyone's about to get a notification.
Hey, everybody.
My mic's not. My mic's not live.
Well, you should turn your mic on.
I apologize in advance for that sound.
Oh.
You are all welcome for that noise. I apologize.
What
It's
did
okay.
you do?
Nothing. Some stuff happened. Let's just say that I hit the power button to the mics when they were all turned up. So they all went together in one big, very loud.
You're a monster.
It hurt. It hurt my ears.
Good.
So enjoy that in the VOD and
Know that we're not
here
sorry.
hanging out with us. Hey everybody, I'm Sol Rose. These are my friends. Welcome back to our continuing game of Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. I don't maybe While in Prune, I guess. That's kind of what it's called, I guess. Like a weird as the world turns moment.
These are the days of our lives.
Are they though? All right, I'm gonna turn down some mics.
These are the keys.
You turn down the mics though, but what?
Because it's kind of loud in here. All right, try that.
All right.
Well, hold on, now I'm too quiet. We're good. All right. So with that being said, how's everybody doing? You guys doing good? You guys all right?
Good.
All right, cool. So we'll be doing a Dungeons & Dragons related giveaway at 200 followers or 10 subs, whichever one comes first. And the ambrosia for the day, ladies and gentlemen, will be supernatural talent. For 200 biddies, you can grant a party member of your choice a D4 to an ability check, I think, or saving throw. It might just be ability check though. Or for 300 biddies, you can give them a D6. So I'm not saying you might need that, but spoiler warning, you might need that. All right. So, anybody got anything? This side of the room? That side of the room? Nothing new? On Twitter? It's on Facebook? It's on Facebook Live? I don't know.
It's on Discord.
It's on,
It's on Discord. That's the one that matters.
it's on your Twitters.
Subs get access to sub-only Discord where we talk and hang out and laugh about silly stuff and talk about Dungeons & Dragons. So,
And talk about character creation and rules and how they work and world building and mini painting and random links
Hopes and dreams.
random pictures. And,
our hopes and dreams. That's a really short one, actually.
And
Weirdly enough.
nobody's
that board-
posted in that.
Yeah, that board's
It's just a shrug emoji perma-locked into the section and you can't add to it.
All right. That's it. All right. So, with that being said, last minute things before we start. Before we get right into this, let me open up this little dice area here for me to roll dice against you.
Dice bag.
I say against you.
With us?
It's all on the same team. Same team.
But one half of the team is trying to kill the other half.
I mean,
Oh,
yeah.
penis.
What does that sound?
Oops, I did it
Twitch
again.
chat.
What's that? Twitch? Oh, I'm bringing up Twitch chat. Got an ad. Just jamming out. over
Girls
here.
front line, bro.
Oh,
I don't know what it's about.
Oh,
But it looks like
it's not a real announcement, but did everybody see The Last of Us 2 trailer?
Yes.
Oh my god.
Yes.
The gameplay looks incredible.
Really?
There's so much going on and so much you can do. You can grab somebody and use them as a hostage, and they can get just shot.
I can do that
There's
now.
a really great moment when the player's running from somebody shooting at them, and it's Ellie, and she's just booking it, and she runs out of bullets, and she jumps over this thing, and she runs, and there's a bottle, and she picks up the bottle, and there's a person, and she just hucks it and hits him right in the forehead with it. It was amazing.
Nice.
There's a lot more movement options. The stealth seems a lot more realistic, and it looks like it's gonna be baller.
I wanted to watch the Resident Evil 2 remake.
Mm-hmm.
I heard that one looks good. Looks creepy. I'm excited.
I'm excited for the new Fire Emblem on the Switch.
Super Smash Brothers Ultimate. Every character ever
Oh my
is going to be
God.
in it apparently.
Except.
Yes.
No, they're doing all of them. It's
Yeah?
it's a whole ensemble and one new character, which apparently is going to be Ridley.
Did you see what people were really mad about for the Super Smash Bros. Trailer?
Mm-hmm.
So they had like the still for it, right? It's like all these characters running through the air. They left Luigi off of it.
Aww. Makes sense.
Somebody posted a picture with just a cartoon of Luigi just like.
That's what happens when you're player too.
Yeah.
You always give up.
Yeah, that movie wasn't called Ready Player 2. No one cares. Anyway, so with that being said, we are ready to jump into it. Let's go ahead and start. We'll bring it back to a little bit of a recap. Last time, the players had accepted a quest from the Adventurers Guild to escort the Baroness Bureau Black Mountain.
Yeah.
That's alliteration. To her home city of Gromber. in the southwest. You guys ran around town, gathered up some materials and supplies. You met with a strange traveler named Myvium, who wished to trade items he found along his journey. And you, with that, you guys managed to grab some pretty good stuff, some pretty cool things. Then the party ran around for about like the whole day to grab supplies that they needed.
We did that for like 2 or 3 days.
Before finally heading off, and you guys exited out the western farmers gate. You guys headed south, or west first, and then south along the road until you eventually started going off the road and sort of through the island step all the way down to
Is it because
the
where we're
mountains.
going, we don't need roads?
Mute mics.
That was fast.
All right. So,
I thought
yeah,
you
you
did that during your stream.
Asking for a friend.
just asking for need some help. Yep, you guys headed southwest. It took about 4 days, I think is where we ended last time. You guys were 4 days into your 24-day journey.
Woo!
And let's make sure. Let's see. All right.
We see rhinos and cats.
Yes.
Mine
I don't know why, but I just see rhinos and like house cats running around them.
Yeah.
So,
on top of
at the start of day 4, day 5, you guys enter into the lush range of nothing but grassland and trees. It's a unique sight to behold for those of you who have never been along the steppe itself. Very rare trees are a sight to behold. From here, the faintest signs of tracks direct you on the untreaded path to the southwest. Waist-high grass blows and a gentle breeze, creating a surface of water that moves back and forth, almost peaceful. Far off, you can hear the distant roars of lions, big cats, hidden amongst the grass. Occasionally, the tree wraps up from the distance, tarnishing that sea of grass and providing shade for a wandering animal. The mountains, every day you move, seem to get closer and closer, growing larger as you're ultimately heading towards the south end of the Kaleva Mountains. So, what would you guys like to do on your journey? This is arguably the longest stretch of the journey.
How many other people are there?
You-
Aside from
4 and then us.
6 total. Because you have the Baroness, Bureau Black Mountain. You have the driver, Mr. Flooring. You have
Our
and
4 new
the
friends.
4 adventurers.
Yeah.
4 other
Okay.
adventurers. Mr. Floor and Melly.
tell me about the adventurers again.
All right. So the adventurers.
I have
You have.
Does one of them look like a
Not necessarily. You have an older gentleman that seems to be wearing beaten but really classic armor, sallet, coif, chainmail under like the occasional plate. It looks old, like he's had it for a long time. And of the people, he has like weathered skin. He's probably in like his 40s or 50s. He always seems to be kind of like looking around. He chimes in occasionally, but you get the sense that he doesn't have the same social, the younger people with him. He doesn't really feel like a kinship necessarily. So he mostly keeps to himself, and he'll listen in occasionally. He gives like a
Is he
laugh.
the oldest member of our party?
So far, he seems to be.
Okay.
Yeah.
I want to take my last muffin, and I'm going to cut it in half. And I'm going to get half to him, and the other half to the driver. It's a chocolate muffin. I rolled it. I was like, oh shit, it's a chocolate one.
Yeah, he takes it graciously. Graciously. Both of those things.
Gracious
Both of them.
and graceful.
We did the same thing.
Right.
Give me an eraser.
He takes it. He thanks you.
Thank you.
We don't have our other pencil.
But he eats it. The elder gentleman seems completely pleased to have a nice treat like this. So you guys kind of keep this loose formation that accordions back and forth throughout most of the 5th day. Is there anything particular you guys would like to do?
Yes.
What?
I want to go look for the pug-nosed panther.
You would like to try to
Yeah.
track. Okay, go ahead and make
I'm
a
gonna be-
survival check, please.
I'm going to stick with the cart, and I'm going to be keeping an eye out.
Yeah.
I do.
I know you.
No, that's not good. Good start.
Alright.
9.
Strong start.
I mean, looking around, you're not really sure where. You don't even know where to start, for the most part. So looking around, nothing immediately strikes out at you.
Alright, I would like to go back and ask someone to accompany me then.
Okay.
Who's
Out
good at
bed.
following animals?
Are you trying to forage?
No, I'm trying to. We have that pug-nosed panther hunt. And it's like in this area.
How do you figure out your passive perception?
10 plus.
10 plus whatever your proficiency modifier is for perception.
Okay, cool. That's what I thought. I didn't update it when I leveled up.
All right.
And
Well,
proficient in perception yet.
Rob,
no, I got it.
Zonga.
You just had this number.
if you two wouldn't mind going out foraging food, Data said he'll stay by and just make sure the caravan stays fine, right? And you and I can go track.
Okay.
I'm gonna pull my bow out to a comfortable stance and get my arrows ready, just so they're there, so it's not. I don't have to like worry about that as that goes.
Easy enough.
Now Ben, I gotta put you up. I gotta go hunt something.
All right, so who's all? You're looking for. You're
Yeah.
trying to track the pug-nosed panther.
Yeah.
2 of you. Okay.
I'm
Foraging,
foraging.
Foraging.
Foraging as well, and then you'll be watching. All right, excellent. So.
By the way, guys, I should always watch. I can't forage for shit.
The other gentleman will be doing.
Teamwork is how a team works.
The other gentlemen all seem to kind of like stick around as you guys begin kind of spreading out. They look. There's like a little bit of dissension amongst them for a minute. It's like panic, like oh, what the hell? And then as they see people begin to kind of like look for stuff, they're like,
We're gonna go look for
Yeah, I
food.
mean, I assume we're going, at this point, for 4 days, we've been talking, I've been trying to get to know them. I would keep them in all of our loops.
Right.
Aside from the loop that we may or may not come up with to murder them, if we have to.
if that's a loop.
If it comes
We're not
to
gonna openly share that plan with them.
No.
No, because then they might start picking out like food.
Yeah,
Looks
they
the
might
yummiest.
take exception to that.
Again, I win.
Unless they want to take you apart for cooking.
Jawbreakers.
Cooking supplies.
Or pop ribbons.
Okay, so you guys spend the morning. I would like everyone to please, the 2 of you, if you're foraging together, you can make it an advantage, whichever one of you wants to make a survival check to do the
Are you better at
foraging.
survival, Andy?
Survival
And
plus
then-
4?
Yes, I'm +2, so yes.
Then you 2 can make the roll to attempt to locate
Yeah. We'll
the panther.
together or
It said you're gonna be at advantage because
you're both are community
Ooh,
No,
18
just-
plus 4.
Okay.
so 22.
Yeah, sure, that's what that is.
I
Not
thought,
bad.
I don't think I should be more.
18 plus 4.
14.
14. 14 is yes high enough to.
Not 14.
As you guys look around, you find a number of small ground squirrels, things like that throughout your. Nothing too big that would be, troublesome to bring back. But you stalk, you make your way, and that is how you spend your morning. You have to follow them. You have to figure out where they're resting at. Some of them you scurry up, and then you have to go like back to being quiet. So it does take you the majority of the day, but you are able to garner enough for the whole group. With that being said, you two, as you guys are spending your day doing some little reconnaissance, some panther hunting, you guys come across a number of tracks that surprise you. Lions, tigers, things like that. The occasional large like rhino or
Bear.
heavier set creature. But it's you towards the latter half of the day. You are coming across, and you kind of come across. You slip for a minute, and then into like a little like divot in the ground, and as you kind of step back for a minute, you go to walk around like this little puddle, and then you stop, and you look back, and the foot's about that big. The hole. It's just, and you get the sense that might be what you're looking for.
Does it have toesies?
Yes, it has a prong. It appears to be almost like a big cat, but just like a big cat, not like normal size big
Like
cat.
a Totoro cat?
Bigger.
Bigger than a Totoro.
Bigger.
Bigger than a
Way
Totoro
bigger
It's
cat,
like cat bus.
Oh my god! Everybody cat bus?
right? So it's massive,
Bigger.
but you get the sense that that might be what you're looking for.
Well, should we follow these and then figure out where they go and then we can get help?
Yeah.
We can get some of those new chuckles.
Well, again, Lou, we are here to protect the Baroness.
Yeah, she's protected. She's got people back there.
If we're lucky, I don't want to say that. If it plays out this way, one of them might attack the caravan and we can 2 birds with 1 stone. But first and foremost, we worry about the Baroness and her safety. So hunting this, probably definitely not on our...
Yeah, I mean, we're not really doing anything right now
Priority
anyway. We can always just figure out where it is.
I'm not saying we're not, but I'm also
See
saying...
how far out of the way it goes.
I'm just saying, Lou, if we find it, I'm not going to pull our team away from this mission to
Yeah.
hunt it.
That's why we got the rest of the team.
You would also know from your survival check that this print is easily like a day old.
Yeah.
So it's not like right just around the river bend there's a big
Right.
fucking cat. It's been like a day since that thing came by.
We could probably follow it, but no. Let's head back.
Well, why can't we follow you? So we could.
We could do a lot of things. And right now, I think we should head
What
back.
time is it right now?
It's gonna be about late afternoon.
Like getting close to.
Sun's getting low.
Get real low.
Be dark soon.
Yeah.
Gotta be dark soon.
Don't want to go down that road.
Man, I'm gonna look at the paw print and like look at him. Like the paw print. And be like, how did he?
Yeah.
I know, Lou. I'm a bastard.
I'm gonna kick at him. Not enough to like.
You hear a
mess it
rumble
up.
from the underbrush.
Yeah.
Right.
What do you know? He was just
You
around
hear
the
the,
riverbend.
you hear the T-Rex from fucking from Jurassic Park.
You just
Alright.
feel.
Yeah. What? There's like a water glass on the
It's in
rock.
the footprint already.
No.
Oh, that's more natural. My thing.
Ooh, put this cup here.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
There's a clear solo cup.
Weird.
Alright, fine.
Thank you.
All right, you guys heading back.
I'm gonna pound the whole time.
Okay. As this day comes to a close, you guys begin coming back. You can mark off your water and food. Well, you don't have to mark off rations. He provided food. But you can mark off your aqua for the day.
So wait, how do we determine that for the water skins and stuff?
Water requires you need 2 water skins a day.
Wait, okay, so how many have we gone through then?
2.
However
I mean,
long.
because it's not like the whole day yet.
No, 4 days.
So at the end of the day, should we mark off 2 water skins?
Yes.
Okay.
At the end of the day, you mark off 2 water skins. Correct.
Ooh, should we have
We each have
gone?
2.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Or
I made sure
have 2. I don't know about you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she
everybody-
got for
yeah.
everybody.
2 for everybody.
Well, that's
Well,
right.
one
Just on a
extra.
random happenstance, we got 2 for everybody.
I was like, just
We're just like, why not?
yeah.
Then I have 3.
One for everybody, 1 extra, I think.
But we all had packs, and every
Yeah,
pack
because
has
we each already
No,
have
they don't.
1. So
most packs have one. None of us are priests or scholars.
I
well,
don't
should
know
we
that.
find a water source then too before it's too late, so we can fill our stuff? Oh, the next day.
Well, that would have been on Ron's. I got they were out foraging. So
Oh.
I
Yeah, you
assume
don't
they
wanna run
found
out
us
of
out.
food. Stream
Yeah,
of
yeah,
people.
but did they
Yeah.
want water for it?
You would have to go to where they are, basically. Take a divert there to go
Could I?
because they
Well, but
towards
I
the end
want,
of the day,
But I want
Zom kind of
everybody
flags
to
everybody
know.
down for,
Go ahead.
what do you want?
I just said I want everybody's water skins. I'll go.
Well, I mean, they're as they like kind of find the stream and they begin to kind of fill up, they would flag people down and be like,
Okay,
hey,
so that's taking
come.
care of the weird thing.
yeah.
Balvin
Provided
says
that
there's
somebody
water
can-
over here.
Alright, thank you.
Success. All right. So,
Now we die.
Yeah, I just imagine that as like.
all right. So you guys wind down. For the evening, you guys set up, pull the carriage off to the side of into the grass essentially. You clear out an area to make a fire. You guys kind of like munch down on some of the wildlife that was gathered throughout the day.
I'll politely try some, but I'm not really interested.
The night is quiet.
Here you go, Balvin.
You occasionally hear movement in the underbrush. You hear the occasional call of a wild animal or two. And yeah, you sleep, rest, come back to, and then starts day 6 of your journey as you load up in the morning and you guys continue to go through. You guys keeping the same formation or what?
No, today I would actually like to go out and assist in foraging.
So the 3 of you are going to forage?
Sure.
Okay,
Unless
so
you guys
whoever
want
wants to make the check at advantage, the watcher, what are you doing?
Oh, pug nose hunt.
Okay, so you're going to go pug nose hunt. Go ahead and make a survival check, please.
That's scary.
Go ahead and make a survival check.
21 for foraging.
21, okay.
No, it's worse. 7.
7, looking around,
Don't
making
get
your way
lost, Lou.
through. You get about 60 or so feet out from the group. You kind of take a minute to look in the same direction that you found the other day, but you don't get the sense that the creature was moving this way. However, in the beginning half of the day, you guys begin to kind of forage and gather up. Is there anything specific that you were looking forward to doing?
I'm gonna keep watch. I'm staying here. I'm like getting to know the carriage driver.
Getting to know Mr. Florin. Mr. Florin is He is a single gentleman. He has been a car driver for years. He has traveled these ways in and out for close to about 40 years now. So he is quite familiar with the pathway and where he needs to go and everything like that. He was married for a brief amount of time, but his journeys.
There's no restless.
Yeah, ultimately kind of. I mean, when you make like 30-day journeys at a time, it just kind of like drains on it. So he is no longer in a relationship.
Does he have a lot of hoes in different area codes?
Not anymore. He might have in his youth, and I'm sure he would regale.
How old is he?
Old enough to know better, young enough to not care.
If you ask him, he will tell you exactly. But if you want a best estimate,
Oh no, I'll ask him. Okay.
Oh, you asked him. He's
Complete
61.
Okay.
Damn.
I mean, this job pays really well.
Yeah,
So,
he's fucking killing it. You seen that? Fucking, he's got those horses.
You can have
I
the
mean, he has a nice home in Alabra
He
that
just
he
doesn't
hangs
see it
out.
very much.
Yeah.
Well,
It's dusty from time to time.
is he? I'm not there. Never mind. Ignore me.
That's what you learn. He shares stories about the journey, about being waylaid, about being attacked by bandits, surviving that. A couple scars he's gotten from, taking the occasional hobgoblin arrow.
There it is.
Yeah.
Damn
Crossbow whip.
Yep. He has a couple bumps and bruises and scars he's proud of from his journeys, but ultimately, yeah, he's just been kicking it, doing this for years. But towards the tail end of the day, Theta, since you have the highest passive perception and the only one who is looking, you do notice that off the western coastline, far out as you've been slowly moving your way away from the ocean, you notice a very large, almost sky spanning series of storm clouds
Oh.
That was gonna be a monster.
that have just been building up over the coast.
I will bring that up to Mr. Florin, and I'll ask him if storms are usual down here and what they're like.
He kind of turns and looks, and he's like,
Yes.
"Oh, well, that one looks like a bad one. Yeah, we get them off the coast. Get all kinds of storms and weather phenomenon."
Well, these are plains. Is there any chance they are floodplains?
I have no idea what that means. Floodplains?
Floodplains, it's like the low side. It would be plains that are a very low situation next to a lot of high altitude stuff. So that when it rains, it becomes a river.
Yeah, I know.
It's a big river.
He's kind of looking at it though, and you notice he's just like staring at it for a while. He takes good stock in that whole thing, and he's just like, "Well, let's hope it dies out when it crashes into the shore. Otherwise, we in for a rough time."
Should we tell
I like
Miss Farrell?
Miss Black Mountain.
There, that one. Yes.
Miss Grumber?
As he's going, kind of like turns around, and you see the little window that divides the, and she's just staring at you.
Hello.
And she's like,
We wanted to tell you that there's a storm coming. It looks like a particularly bad one.
you say to the glass pane, and she's just like, she's just nodding, like, all right, okay. And then she kind of like reaches for it.
Close the curtain.
Successful
Goodbye.
interaction. He's almost proficient with this character.
Yes. We've had 2 conversations. This makes 3.
Too bad.
It's almost all the fingers on one hand.
So occasionally she does get out. She wanders around, stretches her legs. She follows alongside. What was your roll?
21.
21. Success.
There
goes the bear! So as you guys gather up some materials, you grab up some small ground squirrels. You find some mushrooms, things like that. As you are gathering those things up, though, and as you're the first to notice because you're unfortunately out by yourself, is you hear this low sort of like, and then you hear like you can see the grass like in different directions.
Like big? Does it look big?
No,
the
like
grass
it's covered by the
Covered by
grass.
the grass.
But is it like a bunch of grass moving? It's a little bit
It's-
of grass.
Raptors, Tiffany.
a little
It's
grass.
raptors.
Damn it.
It is
It's
not
not the
moving.
pug-nosed panther.
Thank you.
It's the size of a school bus.
Yeah, you'd notice that thing.
You know
I
that.
mean, I don't know. She got a
When
7.
you just
That
see
bitch
like
is probably
high
sneak
back
up on her.
just chilling,
Yeah,
like,
right?
head clearly over,
You'd see a rock. I know, that's a weird, hairy, we should get out of here.
Yeah.
rippling muscle. Anyway,
It's an awesome
Um,
rock.
That is what you see.
Little grass in the
Probably like waist-high grass, right?
Wait, like- yeah.
Waist-high
That
grass,
would be
right?
awesome.
Yeah, it's waist high.
Like away from me? Like, or so like something ran away?
Already
Or
did.
something just
It
came
moves away
I
from
wonder
you
if
and
I
like
would
out.
Oh. Well,
We
let's
did.
try heading back to
Did
Kansas.
you understand what happened?
Little raptors are the
So, you head back.
Big ones.
You mean an Auriso, which is not a raptor.
They're not the
But that's what it's based.
huge.
Okay.
Also, there's a storm
Right.
coming. Watch out.
Look at the little people tall ones.
No,
Those don't exist.
Velociraptors are the size of chickens.
This is a fantasy world. They can't exist.
So there's some.
That's not, no, you're gonna make me
They're
think
just
there's
little.
raptors in
They're
the
just
grass.
cockatrices.
So that's what I'm gonna be picturing.
So with that being said, as you guys come back together,
Baseball.
after about a little bit amount of time, you can see Lady Beryl kind of getting restless, and she's like, "All right, we're done. We're like, sun's going kind of down." She seems to be kind of restless sitting inside the
She
carriage.
went like with this journey.
So
Like, she's like,
they pull the cart off. You guys begin setting up camp as normal, and
I will assist by doing whatever people tell me to, but I will not do anything on my own.
Go for stew.
they begin to kind of set up some of these the fire pit and everything, and getting set up for the day. And as they do, you hear the first sort of calls of like,
We got small ones. That includes dogs.
Do I recognize that?
Oh, we have a tent.
it's like a wolf or a dog.
Yeah.
But yeah, you guys set up and begin kind of divvying out some food as the first couple calls sign out for the morning, and then or for the evening. And as you guys are getting settled in, you finally begin to hear more, and now beginning to concentrate around the camp. You hear, and they're just going around the outside.
They're like observing,
Should
whatever it is.
See,
we set watchfires on the edge to help ward them away?
Yeah.
Alvin, you gotta go to sleep.
I think maybe an extra person on watch tonight.
Okay.
okay, so you guys gather up one extra person to take watch.
And we're gonna clear some spaces towards the edge of the camp, put like a circle of fires, like little ones, like torches, you know, they're sucking around.
The tent we got it's 2 people, right?
See.
2 people. Okay.
See,
I'm gonna stuff my shirt inside my backpack too.
take your shirt off, huh?
Yep.
It's getting real. That's how you know it's getting real in here.
Get your nips out.
Those burned off.
Yeah.
Can we make
that's true.
something that
Smooth
smells
like the ice.
like with our powers combined, can we make something that smells bad to wear on the camp to like make things
You can certainly try.
scared?
I mean, we could try taking poop, but
Um,
we're gonna smell that too.
As you guys are,
That might attract them.
you two specifically,
No,
as
that's
you two are beginning to kind of push outwards and begin clearing an area,
Mm.
you're the first one to notice with your dark vision this massive sort of head of a dire wolf, spines on its back, its large bristled back kind of like staring at you, and it snarls. As you approach, its just head kind of like Velociraptor and pops through the grass and kind of like levels itself straight at you.
Preemptive strike, as President Bush would always say. I'm going to cast
Scream.
bite.
They're gonna cast bite. All right, everyone, go ahead and roll initiative,
Bite him on the nose.
and let me go ahead and set up the battle map for you.
Nice.
God,
Hey, I'll join you down this.
So ridiculous.
close.
It makes sense. I think I have the lowest passive percentage
Not
in the
nice.
group, so it makes sense.
It's not bad.
Fuck!
I'm
Oh, no, 6 total. 6.
Would you get, man?
Looks like a 9.
I got a
Oh
22.
yeah, Dan. My question is,
Yes.
Oh, wait.
with my
That's
alchemist
amazing.
kick,
I took my
throw
shirt
stuff
off.
together.
Oh, that's good. He was ready for this from the
Not like a
beginning.
stick bomb, but like something sticky that I could like splash around.
Yeah,
I don't know.
You weren't ready?
Is it only whatever I bought for the smoke
I
bomb?
am not ready for this.
that's all the materials you currently have, but you can try to gather more.
Like
Oh.
forage for them.
Okay, yeah.
Question.
Yes, question. Go
Where
ahead.
does your initiative come from?
Your dex.
Dexterity.
And that's-
I know it's been a while.
12.
I'm sorry.
Oh no, you didn't update it? Plus
Yeah.
4?
I felt bad about
I have all these numbers in my head. We good.
I'm taking this.
Oh,
No big
I'm just
deal.
kidding.
Take this.
God,
Alright.
I'm not gonna try to do now.
I don't know if you guys can even see this, but
I see it.
I actually can't see it.
No, I can't see it.
There's shit in the way.
Well.
Can I move it?
no.
No, it's possible.
All right.
Yeah.
Alright,
I know
Get everyone's
Actually, number.
tokens real quick. Whoop. Go ahead and get everybody out of here.
Can he be on our side?
Oh, I did get some stuff glued.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it only took a couple hours.
Was it really being that big of a
You're gonna
pain?
break it.
No, it's just a glue setting, so I had to sit there and wait until it thickened.
You're using epoxy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then set it so that it wouldn't fall off because the metal pieces are way too heavy. Just watch out with those arms; they're not glued in probably very well.
No, so I'm being very careful with it.
We don't have to do it. So there you are. And we
I
need.
feel like
you know
we've
what?
all been trying to do.
I want to use this anyway. Busting out the skelly
Stand
mans.
holds it.
Great axe.
He stands when he does it. With a pencil in his hand.
Boy, I made him. And boy, I can take him away.
No, I can't.
I was gonna say I bought it. All right, we're gonna grab
I just
everybody.
nurtured and raised it. He gave birth to the damn.
You're the mom, dad. Got it.
All right, we're using the skelly mans for the random adventures. 'Cause we have so many skelly mans.
That's not foreboding.
I actually have a
Well,
bunch of
might as well.
adventures that I have been too lazy to paint
That's fine. That's fine.
because monsters are far.
Are these skeleton wolves?
No, those are our friends.
It's the very, very nice story. Not foreboding at all. Skeleton guys.
Hey, they're already dressed for the occasion.
Wah, wah, wah.
That's what they were saying.
Oh,
Go ahead and
fuck you, I was getting cake.
make your attack roll real
I
quick.
was wondering when you put it in a bowl. I was like,
Hides my shame a little better.
Nice. That is 23.
23. That hits.
Yay.
Go ahead and roll damage, sir.
Damage. 2. And my DC is 15.
What is he making? Oh, strength saving throw, correct?
Yes, sir, or knocked prone.
Excellent.
Do wolves have like an advantage against being knocked prone?
No, but they do get advantage if they're in a pack and attacking the same target.
Okay.
You sure do.
Shut up.
Pack tactics.
Tactics?
This gentleman right here. This is the big one.
Okay.
It's the
Here,
Okay.
here.
the alpha.
I wonder if I can tame him.
Sure. No, we're gonna put him. Go ahead and put him right
Wrestling
on.
toss to the ground.
20.
It's a 20.
I'm trying.
It's a D12. That's why I can't find it. All right. So that is our
way to roll away.
setup. I'm gonna go ahead and move this like this. There we go. All right. With that being said,
Is the dice
Yes.
initiatives.
No, that's the alpha.
okay, that's a big deal.
Skeletons
With
are
the
our
spiky?
friends.
They're skeletons?
No.
No, they're our friends.
Not yet.
Immediately
The
referred
Not
skeletons
yet.
represent our friends.
Oh.
The Skelly friends.
All right. So 25, 20.
Get the house on the hill token, Scott. Get a side point out
22.
there.
Zongak with 22.
Oh.
All
They're not
right.
able to
Zongak
find rolls.
22.
What's that then? What'd you get there, buddy?
Nothing.
Okay.
Maybe.
Shut your horn mouth.
She's so salty
Whoa, whoa,
today.
I prefer luxury slut.
Nice. I like that. Luxury.
I'll send you the picture. It was a drawing someone.
All right. So you said yours was
Stay
22.
on D&D.
Yes.
Don't get used to that high number.
Yeah, seriously.
15 to 20.
Told you.
Is it everybody?
10 to 15.
Apparently, I'm going solo.
5 to 10.
8.
Or I'm sorry. Yeah, 5 to 10. 8. So
5.
all right. Maz 8. Fucking.
I'm down.
Maz 5.
9.
Okay. 9 is Lou.
7.
7, 8, 9!
We got flush.
we need to-
You're
wait,
lucky
you're
man.
7.
Yeah.
You're 8, right?
We were busy looking
Huh?
at stuff.
Yep.
We're doing
Okay.
stuff.
I was having a very good conversation with Mr.
Yeah.
Foreign.
I mean,
I was
I
looking
started
for my shit
this.
to see if I can make slinky things.
I have no perception.
Oh, I'm
so-
scared.
What was yours? 5.
5.
All right, man. Good game, everybody.
Hey, why are you saying it like that? Like,
There's a
Like
pack
they're
of
already
wolves
dead?
trying to kill
It
us.
was a
That's
good
why.
TPK.
no!
All right.
Here we
So.
go.
We have potions, guys. Remember that. Don't forget.
No,
We
All right.
do?
He needs to make a strength saving throw, correct?
Yes, sir.
You
15.
have potions.
That is going to be a 17.
Yeah, I know. I think we bought like
Sorry, buddy.
several.
I bought
One,
potions
two.
from me.
I'll get it
Alright.
next time.
All right. So as we begin, we're just going to go ahead and set this off right off rip. How much damage was it?
6 or 2.
2.
It's a D6.
Boom.
I rolled a 2.
All right. So with that being said, as soon as you just see this leveling of this creature's large sort of head, that like hot breath almost coming right at you, you instinctively just kind of like pull back a little bit. It kind of snarls, surprised, not expecting you to like kind of move so quickly. You bring both hands together, and with a single motion, as this blue energy kind of teams off the hands, you bring it down in these like spectral teeth, trying to like rip into it. It kind of pulls away, only getting like part of it.
Cast bite. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought that was a joke.
No. I didn't bite while you guys were in jail.
I thought you were gonna bite him on the nose.
So it takes a little bit of damage and it snarls, and as it does, it barks loudly and you begin to hear. They just begin to pile up, and you just hear like a lot of them. And at the top of the round, Zongak, you're up, sir.
And then the back one, I was like, hey,
Hey, you got it.
I'm going to pop from my sitting spot, grab my spear, and just huck it at something.
All right, which one?
The closest one I can see.
It's going to be anyone that you can see is a little bit more tricky because these ones are the only ones that you would be able to see. These guys are in the grass, and this thing's in the grass. Basically, anything outside of this line right here is all grasslands.
Okay.
So as it starts, yeah, it's me the first one you can see.
Okay.
Take it to that one. Go ahead and make your attack roll, sir.
That is a solid 9.
9 goes right back. As you throw it and it begins like sort of careening through the air, the wolf instinctively jumps out of the way and it right in the ground. It is there until the start of the turn order, which is
Okay.
you, so it'll be back.
I'm going to grab my hand axe, sprint forward, and go into a rage as I go up to it.
Roar! You turn around and then you begin sprinting towards it. As you go into a rage, that first little teaming up, and you just bring the axe with you. You are in a rage. It's the wolf's turns now.
What?
They rolled a 20.
Yay!
One. They're right behind you guys.
No
False
way.
incredulity.
That's not how I do
Okay.
Nobody rolled a 3?
Yeah.
Really? Why couldn't they have rolled a 3?
They could have.
Go
Well,
I
ahead.
got
I
a
mean,
natural 1, to be honest.
if Zongak had been a real friend, he would have rolled a 6 and we would have had it straight.
Yeah.
Yeah, straight. I said flush earlier. I don't know why I did that.
Well, it's because Belvin is guiding me.
Flush is saying suit.
I said
Straight is numbers
That's
in a
true, you
row.
got 2 heads.
All right, so the first two are at you, Mr. Ma. That is a. Oh, sorry. Darn. 18 to hit.
Yep.
18 hits. That is going to be 5 points of piercing damage, and I need you to make a DC 11 strength saving throw. I would make you guess, but there's going to be a lot of attack rolls, so there's no point in playing that.
I got 11 plus.
All right, so as it reaches out and bites you, take your 5 points of piercing damage, and then you pull your hand away as you notice as the first one kind of howled at you, 2 more dart out of the underbrush and immediately begin trying to latch onto you. The other one is going to make its attack. It's a natural 19 plus 4. All right. That is going to be 5 points of piercing damage again. It's the same. And a DC 11 strength saving throw.
Didn't make it that time. That was a 7.
Okay, the second one, as you bat the first one off your hand, the second one bites into your leg and pulls it out from underneath you, and you are dropped prone.
Not my leg.
Isn't that Beauty and the Beast scene?
There's some shit going down today, peeps.
Yeah, except I'm super tiny instead of a big beast man.
Yeah.
So, next one's at you. Clayton.
Oh shit, I've got him in my back too. Two on my back.
That is 11 to hit.
Misses.
Doesn't hit. So that one lunges out, and you're kind of staring at the big one. You just kind of like eye goes, and then you're like, ah! And just snaps out, jaws and teeth flashing.
I have a very important question.
Yes,
Where's Mr. Florence?
Florida he's still all the way over here. He's actually resting on the cart.
Cool.
So next up will be Zongak. There will be 3 to you.
Okay.
No, that's a 4 for the first one. The second one is a 14. Third one is a 19 plus 4.
That one hits.
That one hits. 2, 4. That's going to be 6 points of piercing damage to you. And you are raging, so you're at advantage for your saves. Strength saves.
No.
Strength saves and checks.
That's a 23.
Yeah, so that succeeds. 6 points reduced to half. So 3 points of piercing damage as they all kind of like begin just like this horde. They kind of like bump into each other and almost like knock each other off guard as they just like snap and you're just knocking them out of the way. And one kind of catches like a little bit off the front and you just ignore it.
How much was it?
3 points. That was halved already. 6. Next up will be our good friend Rashid. Sir? Make sure, hold on, because I think. Alright.
Once he's dead.
No, he can get bit like 3 times.
Okay, next one is Lucrezia.
Ah.
That is 11 plus 4, 15. Okay, so they, again, 2 more. It's like trying to reach out at both of you, missing your compatriots. Well, that was a throw. That was unnecessary.
Completely necessary.
Do whatever
Easy,
your
man,
heart tells
Jesus.
you is right.
Okay,
How far off is the storm?
probably about a day or so.
Okay.
A couple days maybe,
Cool.
if
10
it actually
turns.
lands. 10 turns. About 60 seconds.
Wow.
Whoa.
So he needs to roll damage
Oh
real
wait.
quick. 3, 5,
What were the 2 bites at me? Sorry.
They missed.
15 was Zayas.
Okay. We're good. I heard the 15 bites.
This first gentleman takes a solid bite right to his leg for 4 damage.
Most of which I can't see.
This.
Theater of the mind.
Yeah, it's kind of realistic, honestly.
Can't really see what's going on. It's crazy.
As our
Okay.
unlucky adventurers, surrounded by wolves.
So you do notice Mr. Clemens take a solid bite right to the side. He kind of pulls away from him. He's readying his sword and shield. Yeah, it didn't matter. He rolled a 24.
Ooh.
Get your shield higher, Clem.
I can't even talk
Neck
to
to thigh.
like
Clemens.
shield.
The next one, as you kind of like think that in the back of your head, the next one he just shield checks the thing right off him, and then he gets his sword ready. The last one is going to
You inspired him
a
to.
nod. That hit.
He like just lays under it.
Turtle shield.
1, 3,
It's like Ocarina.
5.
Yeah.
And then
There's
Mr.
over
Ahmad takes 5 points of damage as he's bitten
Young Link. With
in the
Oh, with the
arm,
big-
Yeah.
and he barely. You see him struggling to get the wolf off him. It's pulling him closer, and he's almost about to fall as he rips it out, and he's just like, and he pulls the bow off his back. That's the end. Oh no, sorry. Last wolf is the big one.
Fuck.
All right.
He's your best friend.
He's about to be, yeah.
We named him.
Intimately acquainted.
We named him Frank.
I mean, I'd like him to be
Sure you
my
don't
best
want his
friend.
name to be Kevin, because at least we've already killed him once.
Oh.
Oh.
Too soon. Too soon.
It's
No, it's Kevin.
only about a year ago. It's fine.
Yeah.
I want this wolf.
Too bad.
To like pet it and shit, or like kill
Just
it?
pet
Get
it and
low
shit.
enough, and then you can throw a Pokeball.
Hey man, fuck trying to do this wolf.
He knows what's up.
He's doing that like Jurassic Park thing.
Sorry, I lost my.
It's
We'll
a
fucking
Pokemon thing.
Spines?
We'll fuck him up. He'll
Yes.
get all messed up, and then we'll be like, "Son's
Oh, we
getting
can eat
mighty
him
low."
if we kill him.
What?
We can eat him.
Or
All right,
You can help us hunt.
you, Senor.
Or we could fucking kill it before it was us.
Yeah, that's right. Kill it. You get not even.
Baby steps.
That's fucking barbaric.
17 to hit.
Not cool.
That's a hit.
Yup.
Just bite it.
That is 7 points of piercing damage.
Woo.
And I need you to make a strength saving throw.
I'm already on the ground. Unless I make
Oh, you're
another
just
one.
prone, right?
Oh, you are prone. Well, then
Yeah.
that doesn't matter. It just bites
You're
you.
prone.
Again. It just bites you again. Like a rude, the big one just kind of like
It's rude,
having
did
been
you
bit,
say?
it jumps off to one side and then immediately comes down and snatches at your side.
He knows what's up.
That's the end of their turn. It is now everyone else's turn. Lucrezia, you're up next.
Okay.
What are you doing?
I will take my hammer,
Uh-huh.
and there's two at my back, right?
Mm-hmm.
I will swing my hammer at the one that's an S,
Okay.
and then try to punch the other one that's not an S.
Okay, go ahead and make your attack roll.
Oh.
So just gonna hit it with the hammer.
That's good. Natural 19. Plus
26.
That hits.
Okay, and then for the punchies.
Hard miss. Like,
Ooh, for
That's
the punchies. Should I do it again?
Yeah, that's cocked. I mean.
Oh,
Oh my
20.
god. It was an 18 and I made her re-roll it. I was like, I'm sorry,
So
but
25 to punchies.
no, obviously still hits. Natural 20.
So
20 hits. Go ahead and roll damage for the first one on the big guy, or on the first one. I guess he's not really much bigger than the rest of them around him, but whatever.
what does it even look like anymore? Okay.
10
Nice.
plus something?
Plus 5.
15 damage.
max damage on that. Yeah.
And then
So as you bring the hammer, put the hammer down. You bring the hammer down right in the front of its head. You see the eyes pop out both the
Oh my
sockets.
God.
It caves in. You boom, just smash it straight into the floor. Tongue kind of gets chopped off by the teeth as it closes in on it. Head's just a mess. And then you smash it, and you're just like, okay.
3 damage to punch it.
Did you roll 2d4 plus your modifier?
Yeah, it's
Sure.
2d4. Because
Oh,
when
that's
that
right.
20.
Yeah, yeah.
2d4 plus
Nice.
Oh, it's 4.
4 plus modifier.
I don't.
You
did I
did,
do that?
because it's martial arts, yeah.
Oh, I thought I
Just
rolled
figured
that.
that out.
Oh, okay.
Modifier.
4 plus my dex, right?
Yep.
So 5.
So as you smash it down,
9 total.
9 total. You look over at the other one. It's currently snapping at the heels of Rashid, and you just pump it right in the ear. It's like it yanks out in pain.
Agile parry. Just so
Obviously,
you know.
that one and 9 total, right?
Yeah.
All right, that is the end of your turn. Who is up next? Mr. Maw.
Woo! All right, I'm stand up,
Okay.
and the one that bit me and drug my ass to the ground,
Yes.
I'm gonna swing at him with my
Oh
new
shit,
longsword.
you're right.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead, Ming.
Bunch of rules.
I mean, I went by what he was doing.
Yeah, what I
I should
got.
have questioned him more, apparently.
Awful.
6.
6 to hit. You bring the longsword down across. It instinctively jumps out of the way. You notice the grass just and falls to pieces as you miss, and you're just like, "That's cool." All right. Anything else?
It's like
That's it.
anime.
Okay, you swing, and that is it for you, sir. Theta, you're
Oh,
up.
it's my turn.
It is what's the Theta's turn.
I'm gonna disengage
Okay, where you
and
want to
run
run?
past that wolf.
This one?
Yeah.
This way?
And then to your left a little bit more.
This way?
And then away a little bit more.
This way?
And then a little more.
This way?
There we go.
You instinctively dart past him. It wheels around, just kind of like snapping.
And then I'm gonna pull an arrow and at the one that knocked him to the ground.
Okay, go ahead and make your attack roll, sir.
Okay. I lost all my dice. Put them all away. Don't roll a d10. I rolled a 70.
Potentially should be able to hit.
Jesus. 19.
Hits. Go ahead and roll damage, sir.
What's the damage for that? 1d6.
D6 plus your sneak attack because it's adjacent to your ally.
Which is 2d6, right?
2d6, yes. So 3d6 total.
All the sixes.
Why do you think you're trying to
What's your modifier? That's pretty good.
16
No.
plus some stuff?
Can you stop trying to count things? Because that's bad and wrong.
10?
I know, but not my
Oh,
modifier.
yeah.
So 20 damage.
20 damage. You run past him.
If it means anything, I was aiming for eyes.
You bring the bow up and you just feel this like it's very smooth.
masterwork,
It's
yeah.
a very nice draw.
Nice.
Not even a no stretching of the wood, nothing, just and you just let it just It goes under the chin of the big hulking one as it just sinks straight through the eyeball. Both sides. As you swing the sword and it jumps to the side, you just see it get struck and drop.
Reaction to devour.
Yeah, go ahead and make.
Sounds so barbaric.
Ah!
Yeah, he just, see, he's doing what I told him to. He's fighting it.
That is going to be
Get yourself
16.
Yeah.
She's still
Sucking down the
um,
Sucking
I didn't mean it in a gross way at all. I just meant that it's a gross act in itself.
Just sounds
It is
What's the
gross.
number?
It is a 16. It's a Constitution check, right?
It is. Yes.
All right. That's going to be 20
20
total.
success.
We can after.
Hold on 1 second.
Look it up.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. That is successful. You feel part of it
Doesn't mind.
disappear, and it. You can all feel this sort of like strange pulse, this pulling, this draw towards, as there's like a almost like a darkness where Maw is, and all of the grass for a moment just goes towards him, and then just begins to
The
kind
wolves might have magic.
Oh no!
Yeah, as a reaction,
Yes,
I'm gonna
it
yell
was the
that.
wolves.
Did you? Oh, burp was perfect. Just use consume.
Okay. All right, that is the
That's what the headdress is.
end of
for.
that one.
Yes.
Next up is
Kerchie.
Rashid. You're up, sir.
I would like to use my rapier on that one.
All right, you turn around and you bring out the old rapier.
21?
21 hits. Go ahead and roll damage. D8 plus speed tech.
I don't speak French. I pull out my rapier.
14.
Plus your modifier.
18.
18 damage. So the one that you kind of deck to the side of the head, it turns and starts like snarling at you, and as it does, he just takes the opportunity to sink the rapier straight through the
Whoa.
side of its neck, and it just kind of like shakes for a minute before.
Oh.
Is Raw that thing next to me?
Yes.
That
it's
Whoa!
It's
Fucking
just
person!
Wow.
Holy
Oh,
shit!
Every second it looks like a little
Whoa.
metal thing.
Oh my
I'm
God.
sorry.
Look, I get he's a tiefling, but he's not an orc. All right.
He has rights.
I hate
Racism.
this. Everything about it.
lives matter.
I'm so sorry.
No.
So
I wouldn't
sorry.
look at
I
him
know
and say
who my
that.
friends are.
I wouldn't say it to his face.
So fair enough. All right, now
I hate this game.
Okay, that's fucked up.
top of the round. At the top of the round, as you're standing there, axe out, raging, you just hear in your hand as the
And an insult.
Sail comes back.
Stick it into the ground.
Mhm.
Oh.
Axe and fist.
All right, go ahead and make
You're
your attack rolls to whichever one you'd
No,
like.
the head is not a weapon.
It could be.
No, I have a fucking.
Potentially.
Yes,
No,
a lady.
she said throw your head at him.
It just bonks
Your
off.
buddy.
Or worse, it hits and goes,
Oh yeah.
and it's gone forever.
Or worse, he doesn't know which head you mean, and he fucking headbutts.
I'm gonna reckless.
Okay.
'cause-
Might as well since they already have advantage anyway.
Oh, that's 24.
24 hits.
And another 24.
Both hit. Go ahead and roll damage for both of them.
I can't believe she'd say that. No, I wouldn't say this to his face.
Oh.
I shoots the arrows, so.
That was you.
Oh, speaking of, unused dry erase.
Okay, that is
So I can count arrows.
No, she's from a lot.
9 physical and 4 radiant. And then 6
It's gonna be a.
Uh,
next one, so I get to hear it.
slashing.
So you bring Death down
I just did not
with one mighty swing. The wolf dives out of the way instinctively, but you manage to catch the corn hind, the rear end of it, I guess. And it kind of pushes it away from it. It yelps out in pain and surprise as you just sink the blade into the side of its neck, and it drops.
I got tired of running out of maggots, so I wanna-
Okay. That is the end of your turn, sir. It is now the wolf's turn.
Yay.
Ooh.
That's my least favorite part of the day.
No, it's the best part. You
Oh,
know what's gonna
it's up
happen.
in your grill now. Is it still in this part?
I feel great.
There's
It's
grill.
the. Oh, no, no.
All right, so the first one will be at
I'm gonna eat well tonight. Unless
Theta?
they're
Hello.
I know. I was thinking that too.
That's a
they're edible
14 to hit.
rolls, but
That
it may not have
hits
a
me.
meat.
Does? Okay. So,
That's what it needs.
We did pretty good.
ooh, that is going to be 8 points of piercing damage,
That
or
hurts.
basically almost the highest it could have.
Fuck, we didn't.
I need to make a
friggin'
strength saving throw, DC 11, please,
Yeah, motions are
to not be knocked prone.
Those are good.
I'll take that. Strength?
Yeah.
14.
As it bites into your sort of metal exterior, it teeth scrape against, and it tries to catch purchase for a minute.
We all
Everyone
take
hear it.
psychic
Yeah,
damage.
no. But it tries to claw, and then there's this moment of like confusion as it doesn't understand why you didn't go down. But you take your dent, and then it just kind of like
Take your lumps.
it licks its face. It does like the licking the face thing because it hurt its mouth.
Yeah.
Um,
No.
Next up is the one against you, sir.
Yay!
Yeah, very true.
That
Felt
is
his
a
teeth vibrate.
that's 23.
Right up into the
Yep.
skull.
I saw when you
Good luck.
described that.
No, it's
That is 6 points of piercing damage.
I'm on the ground
You get
again.
knocked prone again.
Damn it,
This one
Mom.
just bites into you and just
keep, like, laying
wrestles you to
down.
the ground.
This is gonna be great.
So next up is the two at Uzon. That's not gonna hit. No, it's a 6. The second one is going to hit with a 24. 2 to 4.
I am prone.
At advantage.
All right. I always forget that. Yep, I am prone. I got the same one. I got 2 natural ones.
Oh! So as the first
You're
one
just running
snaps at
through.
you, you're just like blocking. The second one just grabs your leg and you're like, you just smash right into the floor. There was this moment of just like, I'm the best. You are knocked prone. You take 7 points of damage, reduced to 3. That is the end of their turn. Well, actually, the 3 are going to attack Mr. Clemens, as he is unfortunately still there in the back. Advantage. Nope, that one doesn't hit. Second one. Also doesn't hit. Both of them instinctively, he just brings his blade up and he's like punching off their snouts to try to get them away from him, bringing the shield down. King, king. Expertly avoiding it. And the last one is going to be to Mr. Ahmad. 16 unfortunately does hit. That's not very good damage. And he takes 5 points of damage. You notice now as he takes the secondary brunt to his leg, it's kind of like took out a decent sized chunk, and he looks like he's struggling to stay on his feet as it rips part of his clothing off. That is the end of the. Well, now you got the big wolf.
Yeah, a lot of
To you,
people
sir.
Yay.
Is the big wolf not dead?
No,
Oh, I'm
It
fine.
doesn't really.
No.
I bit him once.
I mean,
That is a solid
Okay.
16.
That does not hit.
All right, 16. As it bears down on you, you instinctively roll out of the way and it just bites at air for a minute and then turns its head and snarls. That is the end of their turn. Next up is Lucrezia.
I would like to move. I mean, I think 25 movement altogether, but I want to move like whoop, whoop,
You're gonna move
whoop, whoop.
all the way around these guys?
Yeah.
Okay, getting in this area.
Yes, and I would like to hit the first one with my hammer,
Mm-hmm.
and if it hits, I want it to be a distracting strike.
Okay.
That will hit, I think. 22 total,
22 hits.
and then all of the damage for it. Um, 6 total, and then I'm gonna add a d6 for the distracting strike.
Okay.
5 more.
11.
11 damage total.
And to do the distracting strike, I want to like kick dirt into my face.
Okay.
And then I would like to,
Is it 11 total?
yes, and I want to punch the other one
You distracted all the way to the grave.
to my
Okay.
right.
It's distracted. It's dead.
I was hoping not.
It's not.
Oh,
Okay.
Jake.
punch don't punch.
Okay.
9.
9 points.
No,
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 9
to
to punch. Yeah.
So the first one is you bring the hammer down on it. You kind of bash it right in the side. It gets knocked off its feet almost for a second, then rolls and gets back up, just snarling angrily, and you just take that opportunity to kick some dirt right into its face.
So,
Is that disadvantage, right?
no, just whoever the next attack roll against it has advantage
So yeah.
before the start of my next turn.
Next up is
Ma, yay!
you're gonna use your.
Well, no, isn't it Theta? I thought Theta had 9.
No,
Uh,
I have
I have
7.
Oh, that's right.
Blue and
She has
then
9. You
Yay.
Lou, and then you.
I'm gonna stand up,
That's how you can remember.
Okay, so you get back up.
and I'm gonna slash at the fucker that knocked me to the ground again.
Okay, so you slash at the little guy. Go ahead.
Yay! Natural 19.
That hits.
Nice.
Go ahead and roll damage.
And I believe it's D8. Confirm. Yes. 5!
5 points of damage.
5 points of damage.
No, okay, no. I don't have my proficiency. Just
Okay, so as you bring the Marvellius down, for a minute you think you missed again as you just swing across and there's no resistance, just right through it, and the wolf's just staring at you as you just watch. Just blood begin to pour out the front of its thing, and then it's just like it begins kind of like pulling back, surprised. That is the end of your turn. Next up is Theta.
Can I get to? Oh god, there's a tripod in my way. Can I get to like there?
Yep. You're gonna bonus action disengage
Yes, of course.
and run. Just expertly run around right here.
Sure.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna turn and fire at the big guy.
The biggest one.
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead and make your attack roll.
Huzzah. That's pretty good. 24.
Hits. Go ahead and roll damage. Then.
16.
16 damage. All right. Fucking math.
Just take 3 5s away and then an extra 1.
Okay.
Or a 10 and a 5 and a 1. Or
I figured it
16
out.
Individual talents.
cool.
Or
Okay.
4 4s.
So you again with this secondary pull, you can almost hear Mr. Kin's voice. It's like, come on with us. As you pull it back and it just lets go. It sinks into the side, right into like the clavicle area of this this like dire wolf, and it reels back for a minute, snarls angrily, and it tries to whip around and try to figure out who threw it.
Hello.
Now it knows. At the end of your turn, Rashid, you're up, sir.
Like to go up to that one right there.
Okay, so you run around.
I'm gonna try and stab it again.
Okay, go ahead and make your attack roll. At advantage.
I don't think I need it. 21.
21 hits. Go ahead and roll damage.
That one.
Plus sneak attack.
And these two.
14.
14. 18.
18.
You've discovered a new power.
Well, let's not be crazy.
Simple addition.
18 as you drive the blade home right into the side of it. It drops as you just full force, just kind of like almost like drive it off its feet and let it hit the ground. That is the end of your turn. Top of the round, Mr. Zongak. As you're laying there on the ground, struggling against this thing biting at your leg,
Hey, as long as
the spear goes into your head. Yeah, it just goes, and you drop your whatever's in your offhand right now. Or no, I'm sorry, you have the bladed gauntlet,
Yeah,
right?
so it's
It sinks into your hand.
I'm just going to try and hook it with the axe and then just.
Are you
Nice.
gonna stand up?
No. I'm going to try and hook it and then.
All right, go ahead and make your attack.
No,
Sorry.
it's okay.
I think prone though. I think you're at disadvantage for melee attacks.
I believe
So that's why I just wanted to make sure. But if you wreck them, you cancel it out. It's up to you. You live your dreams.
Or you
sir.
can stand.
I suppose I'll stand.
Yeah, attack rolls have disadvantage if you're on the ground. Pop up for a second.
Yeah, believe me, it'll be a second. And we're all going back down.
I don't know, not all of us.
That's a 22
Hit.
Don't say that, don't say that.
and a natural 20.
Hits. Also
We're
hit.
so fucking right.
Even those of us who
I mean,
aren't
we haven't
ready.
fought for a really long time, so it's like all this pent up fighty thing.
Fight things.
Fighty things.
Pent up fighty thing.
I think those are the technical terms, though.
Aggression?
You can try to keep it in layperson speak for the
Oh, I'm
chat.
sorry. Let me dumb it down next time. My bad.
See, basic math is hard.
Not for him.
10.
He's a fucking demon.
That's not nice.
It's accurate.
At least it's not racist.
Oh, tiefling
I just didn't know what your token was.
Oh.
20 damage altogether.
20 damage. As you climb to your feet, you pull your leg out of its mouth, and you just bring both weapons down at the same time. Just a mess.
Oh, he did say that?
As it,
Yeah.
you kind of like
Aw.
hit right in the meat between its shoulder blades, and just kind of like separate it.
Sploosh.
Just a very violent.
You put that with spit now.
I'm gonna
Yeah, we
drop
did a lot
my
of
axe and
progress
put the spear into my other
here.
hand
Should we do our bag? Our backpack?
because the axe won't teleport back.
It won't keep coming back. All right, that is the end of your turn, sir. It is now the
Wolf's turn.
turn. All right, so first one's at you, sir. That is a 19 to hit.
Hits.
Okay.
Fuck.
Go ahead and make a strength saving throw.
Yay, I'm not fucking prone.
7 points of piercing damage as it just dives up at you and kind of like having just avoided the big one, you kind of like caught off guard for a minute as it just catches on your your forearm guard, and you push it back out of your mouth before it can pull you to the ground. The next one is gonna turn and run at Zongak. Okay. So 2 to you, Mr. Zongak.
Okay.
The first one is a 19 to hit.
That hits.
The second one would have been a natural one, but it's 14, so misses. 7 points of piercing damage, reduced to half, which is 3.
That is a 25.
25 obviously succeeds. So, okay, see if it gets better. So 7 reduced to 3, you take 3 points of piercing damage that sinks its teeth into you. The second one attempts to take that same opportunity to gnash its teeth at you. All right. Next one is going to Lucrezia.
That was very cool.
Huh?
I just didn't know if it was going for the first time.
And this one's
Oh, they both are, okay.
And I will give
I
him
did
an,
punch that one, I think.
give him an
No, I
attack
didn't
of
punch it. I
opportunity
tried.
against it. I don't know why I rolled an advantage, but
Thanks. Well, can you use both?
oh no, sorry, it'd be disadvantage because he's a bow user. So you see him just instinctively as he's like bleeding from his leg and from his arm, he just pulls the bow out and it just into the ground next to it. Both of them are coming at you, Lucrezia. 17 hit.
Yeah.
Okay, second one. That's a 22.
That one.
So the second one jumps out at you.
Okay.
I need you to make a strength saving throw.
9.
Sugar, you're
You
going
are
down
dropped
swinging.
to the ground, and you take 9 points of.
Take another wolf
Or
to the
no,
beak.
sorry. Hold on. 7 points of piercing damage. I apologize.
Another fancy.
You said 9. I said 9. It was crazy.
Okay.
So that one sinks its teeth into the side and pulls your leg
Ow.
out from underneath you. You are drugged to the ground currently.
That's not
Last but not least is the big one, which I threw my dice again. Why am I doing this today to
You're
myself?
so angry.
I know, right?
You're not even being attacked by wolves right now, bro. I mean, technically, you're being attacked by adventurers.
I mean,
But you started it.
I'm not.
I started it.
Oh,
Don't
there we
forget
go.
about it.
There we go.
Can you just stand up, or do you have to make a strength saving throw to get away?
No, you just gotta
Just
stand
gotta
up.
stand up. 13 to hit.
It does not.
The big one just jumps forward at you and tries to grab you in its teeth.
He's a little derpy. I want him.
It's
Don't be my best
the end
friend.
of
Oh my God.
their turn. Lucrezia, you're up. Oh my.
Oh, it's my
Yeah,
turn?
yeah.
Oh, okay, I will wait till you're done.
Interesting. Any interesting things?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna stand up.
Okay.
The one that actually like took me down, I will try to hit with my hammer.
Okay.
14 plus 7.
21.
Yeah.
21 hits.
And then 10.
Thanks, Mr. Warlock.
10.
15 damage.
15 damage to the one
Hatred Sand.
in front of you.
Yes.
As you kind of scramble to your
Devil
feet
man.
defensively, you take that opportunity to swing down with the heavy end of your hammer,
With
smashing it right in the head.
I'll spend a key point
Okay.
to do fear
No.
blows of the second.
Your patron is like a living algorithm.
It's just cog, bro.
No, it's a mathematical equation that
Just
equals.
cog.
No, it's just an abacus.
For the first hit.
It's just
14 hits.
constantly moving.
I'm just thinking like that mathematical
15
equation
plus
of justice.
Also hits.
Green Lantern.
Mm.
I mean, if math can be a Green Lantern,
Damages.
why can't it be
Hey,
a fucking
nice.
Warlock patron?
Because nobody would follow it.
9 for the first.
Uh-huh.
8.
A lot of people would
8
follow
for the
it.
second.
So the second one, as you
Give
stand
me
up,
half
instinctively
hours.
you just bring the foot up and you drop it down right in the center of its head.
Ooh, an axe
A
kick.
heavy crack.
Hell yeah.
For a minute, you feel like your foot might hurt tomorrow, but it just hits it right in the head, and you see its eyes roll back, and it just slumps over sideways.
That's tomorrow
I
Lou's
would like
problem.
to.
Yeah. Like
Okay, I want to start making
one,
my
one
way.
Downtown, walking
Yeah, right.
Oh,
passing homebound.
Yeah, we were 5 in.
What's up?
So I can only get to there, right?
Yes.
I'm heading this way for it, but you're good. You can leave me right there.
It's fine. All right. Next up is my goodness,
A host.
Rocco with the host. Thanks, buddy. I hope you're having fun. Fighting wolves. All right. Next up is Ma.
Stand. Oh no, I'm not. Oh, I don't have to stand up this time.
I'm not grown.
I'm gonna.
I'm a real
Right?
boy.
Just like
It's small,
dumb
like
thing. It doesn't really change
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
It really is. I'm gonna slash at the little wolf.
Okay.
No, I'm not.
What is it?
That's 2.
A 2? No, solid. Misses. Swings. Misses as you swing it across.
You'd be a great gardener, though.
I know,
You're
right?
doing really good so far.
I haven't found
Rubies
any
in the
rubies
grass.
yet, though.
What is that circle behind the wall? Is that anything?
He must be in the newest edition.
That's where they were setting up the fire.
Oh, okay.
So that is the end of Ma's turn. Next up is Theta.
Hey, sweet. Hey, nobody's bothering me. I'm just gonna shoot the big one again.
Okay, go ahead and make your attack roll, sir.
That worked so well. Second verse, same as the first. Not bad. 20.
20 hits. Go ahead and roll damage.
It's cocked. Oh my god, please. Oh my god!
Yeah, see?
Max damage.
Nice.
So
Triple
that comes up
sixes?
to 22.
No, alright, good. No. 22.
Resist.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, well, I rolled the 6s.
Oh,
Damn
and
it!
one ended up on the side.
okay, so as the
Oh, it's mine. I was like, why is he giving it to me?
Give me the
'Cause that's
roll.
my fucking
as
dice.
the arrow flies true, solid strike. It kind of like looks at you, and there's a moment of like, falls over sideways.
We're having wolf tonight, boys.
Wolf's back on the menu,
It's got
boys.
spines, right?
You know, you have to eat around those.
You know
All right, that one is down. Next up is Rashid. And on the base, that's perfect for you. It's perfect for you.
It's perfect.
Alright.
I'm going to
Wheel around.
wheel around and I'll use my bow. this time.
Okay, so you sheath the old rapier and you pull out your bow.
16.
16 hits. Go ahead and roll damage.
And sneaks. I get sneak attack now?
Yes, as long as there's an ally within 5 feet.
Yeah.
Which is its Omgek.
18.
18 again. Whip right through the side. It kind of strikes right through the rib cage, and you see it pass out the other side before just.
Wait, is your modifier 5?
It's dead.
All right, that is the end of a Rashid's turn. Top of the round, Zonga, you're up.
New one. Oh, I
Penta
can't-
thrust.
No, I'm just gonna flip the spear around, come around, and then.
Whack. All right, go ahead and make your attack rolls.
Reckless, that's natural 20 with the spear.
Hit.
Sweet.
That's actually its armor class, natural 20.
And that is a
We're
17.
fighting.
17 hits. Go ahead and roll damage
No,
as well.
it's only even numbers.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus. That that also.
Yeah, I thought you could do that. Natural 20 armor class.
I mean, that's only an AC of 10.
You can only do 1 damage.
Technically.
Right.
Although, I mean, the rate at which, well, I guess 5 people roll on 20s. Eventually, somebody's going to get a 20.
I mean, he's gotten 2 by himself so far.
Oh, I meant evens versus odds. That's an AC of 10, technically.
Plus, I mean, you can use anything that doesn't require an attack roll. So, I mean,
Well,
you
but
can,
if the DC's odd, it's not going to touch him.
Fuck. But does that mean if the DC's even,
20.
it'll always hit?
20 damage as you bring the spear around, and then you bring depth around to the side. You kind of like stab it right in the front to hold it in place for a minute, and then giving you kind of like a guided strike with your flail, and it just boom straight in the side of it, kind of just cakes the head. Just blood and viscera come flying out. All right, one left. Next up, it is the wolf's turn.
We're all gonna convert on this one dude. What is that?
Solid 10.
Ooh,
10 to hit.
So-
Nom, nom, nom. It runs
Scary.
away.
imagine it ran away.
Yeah, runs away.
Where's it gonna go?
well,
It's
I mean,
Make your opportunity attack.
Kill it. Kill it.
Damn, it's
nope.
What is it?
3.
3 does not. Hiya! And then it just
How much more grass does he cut?
a bunch. There's just oddly angled slots
have a
cut out of the
feeling
area immediately around you
That one day that wolf will return for our eyes.
for vengeance.
Yes.
All right, combat.
Yeah, I mean,
rules.
really
He's
though,
gonna-
he's
Rob
the
knows
alpha
that He's
now.
going to hire mercenaries.
Wolf mercenaries. One wolf
No,
has an
no,
iPad.
He's a
Hire
color.
real mercenaries.
I would like to start trying to carve up that big wolf.
Oh, I wanted to do
Jesus.
the same.
You can do it too.
yeah, I'd like
All right,
to.
Plenty of wolf to grow around,
Yeah,
guys.
yeah.
No, I wanted it tied.
Question: does anybody have any salt?
No.
What's up?
So we can't cure it, which means we basically have to eat all of it tonight,
or
or
cook it.
We have a whole day to eat between all of us, you know, and who knows
Yeah,
how much
well
we're gonna
fed. We'll
eat.
have a feast.
Yeah.
well, anyway, I'll help cut it because it does that.
Okay. Well, then I'll go try to help cut it.
It's like a laser sword in every way that doesn't matter.
We were all gonna gang up on the big one, but
If they all start ganging up on the
Yeah.
big one, I'm going to go around and hack off tails.
I'll start trying to carve up like another one somewhere.
Taking some tails.
Yeah,
Okay.
I go to
Save the
the big
spikes.
one and I take my axe
Yeah,
and just start.
that's what I wanted to do is go get the spikes. from the
Hide?
big one.
I need you to make a dexterity-based survival check. So it's going to be your dex plus proficiency if you're proficient in survival.
What should I?
I don't know. What are you doing?
Cut his
I'm
tongue out.
trying
I
to
hear
carve
that's
up some
tasty.
wool.
You trying to like take some meat pieces
Yeah,
out?
yeah.
Okay, so make a
She said she'd wait until he hided it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I'm not going for the big one anymore.
same thing.
Oh.
It's going to be a dex-based survival check.
It hung out at 18 and then it rolled over to the 2.
I got a 19.
19. Yeah, easy enough. As you you work your way through, you're
Yeah,
not too
so you
used
add
to
your
the
dex
act of
modifier.
this sort of butchery, but you get the hang of it as you go, and you take off clean. We're talking like the head, bit of the arm, and then down the back of it, complete with some spines. Just stick the grossness on top of your head.
While you're attempting to carve your wolf, I just come over and look you in the eyes and cut the tail off and then walk away.
7.
7. You managed to get some decent sized pieces of meat,
I am
probably
the
enough
wolf man.
for, we'll say, 10. You're talking about the big one, right?
No, I've
Just in
been
general?
yeah, just one of the ones that like I killed up.
Oh, if it's one of the littler ones, you get enough for one steak.
That's fine.
A hearty
Single.
soup.
As you are cutting them, like cutting into them and trying to like discard some of the pieces.
Because I've never done that before.
It's
So
gross.
it's gross. Yeah.
However, you do notice that they seem a little bit emaciated.
Oh no.
These ones do.
That
Oh,
would
the little
explain
dudes?
why they attacked us.
But that fat one, or is that big one fat?
Well, he's
No,
big.
it's just bigger
Oh.
than the rest of them.
Okay.
She skinned the
Whatever
big
you
one?
guys
Mhm.
get meat wise, and I pull out my backpack, we can put it here.
All right. Well, I'm gonna now that he's skinned it, I'm gonna use
Put my steak in
my longsword to carve out some meat from our dire wolf friend.
Okay, go ahead and make
Friend?
a dex-based
I feel like
survival
it's the
check, please.
opposite
I
of a
mean, he's
friend.
going to be inside you soon, so he's your friend
I guess in
now.
a way he was
Can I assist?
What was it? Natural one.
Natural one.
So total would be fucking
a friend. Do into it.
8.
Yeah.
As
Yeah.
the hide's been
Yeah.
pulled off, you try to take it. You get like a bunch of uneven pieces and there's some bone in there. There's some fragments, but ultimately probably enough for each of you to have one.
Okay.
Like
It cuts
steak.
so well.
I wish I did.
Oh yeah, easy enough though. As you bring that blade through,
That's the problem,
yeah,
actually.
and then you're like, oh shit, you got like
Goes right
part of
through
the ribs on one of them. You're like, oh
Little
Jesus,
spinal cord.
right?
Did you say your knife?
When I get my final tail, I'm gonna call out to the rest of the group. The other guys go, hey, feel free, take some meat, get some food.
Oh,
The
I was assuming.
the two of them seem to be grouped around Mr. Ahmad, who seems to be bleeding out quite profusely.
Oh shit!
I run over
He's
with
not dead.
Oh,
He's
okay.
dying.
Oh,
I run
hey!
over.
He is bleeding very badly.
Should I?
Run over, and I'm gonna take one of my lesser potions.
Oh wait,
Go.
should we do that? Because I have the healer's kit.
He
Hand it.
kind of like reaches up and he grabs it. His one arm just seems kind of
And I
like
just-
ruined.
Go.
And he drinks it. You see immediately the
Probably better.
It closes wounds, but it doesn't give you back blood.
But
Ooh,
like,
shit.
It's gonna
Should
lay
be
down
2d4 plus something.
Plus 4?
Yeah, I think it's 2d4 plus 2. Let me check. Oh,
Oh, how many uses do you get out
Well,
of
if it's
yours?
+2, he gets 5. If
What,
it's
10?
+4, he gets 7.
Oh, whatever.
okay. You can check for that in.
Oh,
Not you.
nothing.
I think you get like 4? 4 or 8.
It's 10.
Oh, 10.
10 uses of a healer's kit. Every time you stabilize a creature, it drops down by 1.
Ooh.
It's only to stabilize, though.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, like-
That's right. It just
Unless you
stabilizes
have-
them from death. That's all it
Unless you
does.
have the no
Healer
there's
or
the
whatever.
healer is a feat,
Oh,
and that allows you to actually heal creatures with it. So if you don't play doctor,
damn it!
there you go.
I gotta mark that
I
on.
know, my next cleric's gonna play.
Damn it, Jim!
I'm telling you, human fighter can be pretty much anything. Anything you want it to be. Okay. So yeah, he regains. How much would you say?
Was it the 2 or the 4?
It's 2.
Okay, then it is 5.
5 health. That's 5. Okay. So as you see his wounds begin to kind of heal up. Oops. That was me. Wounds begin to kind of heal up. He still seems to be in a considerable amount of pain, but he's gonna make it.
I'm gonna pat him with my bloody hand. Go, yush, yush.
Yeah, you should. There you go, buddy. He's like, thank you.
Yeah, we got
Ow. All right, that is the that is it. Anything else you guys would like to do as you guys are
no.
wrapping up this
Well, I think you should take a short break.
this lovely evening?
Oh,
Well, you guys are winding down to go to bed. All right,
Funny,
we're gonna
I
go ahead and
opened
take
it.
our break.
I opened it and then I did the other eye.
oh, I didn't see.
All right, we're gonna take a quick break. We'll be right back, guys. I hope you guys are enjoying so far. So I'm gonna pop off camera and we're gonna get this
How many?
started. So
How many wolves were there total?
there were 11 plus the big one, 12.
Wow.
How many?
Did he
spikes?
get the tail when he skinned it?
No.
No, he didn't.
I got that tail.
How many spikes did he get?
They're all attached to the.
Cool.
They're all attached
Oh,
to the crate, so
That I'm wearing.
that he's wearing. Yeah.
It's
Just to clean it and tan it. All right, I'll be right back, guys. We're gonna take a quick break. We'll be come down. When we come back, we will continue the story. So.
They were all dire wolves.
Nope, only one of them was.
Oh shit.
All right, gonna go ahead and mute us.
Well, they probably possess a neglectable level of sodium where they can legally put 0
Or like
on there.
a pickle has like 1 calorie or 0 calories or something.
Yeah.
Because a serving size is a third of a pickle.
Yeah.
Sure.
Legal loopholes. Ba-da-ba.
Or like Tic Tacs don't have calories.
No, like, this is
Moral of
3
the
servings
story.
per container.
Moral of the story, ladies and gentlemen, don't be sheeple.
All right. Well, that was.
Read that Ayn Rand and live it.
Defy the
Please
tyrant.
do that.
Don't
I'm
be
sorry.
silent.
No, take Ayn Rand's books and burn them.
That's right. Let's start burning
They
books.
make really good fire.
That's how
Sorry.
people can.
Just Ayn Rand. That's all.
Let's
Or
burn them all.
Ayn Rand,
Fuck it.
if you want to be pretentious, which she does.
So how you guys doing?
All right. So, day 6 winds down, having a few more scrapes and scratches than you had the days leading up to day 6. And we enter into day 7 of your journey. Day 7 of your journey. What? Before we begin any sort of neglectable conversation, day 7 begins the rain.
Begins the rain.
Oh yeah, it came down.
I
Look
am
at that.
underneath the cart, holding on.
As the morning comes, the rain begins to slow at first, this trickle, and slowly becomes like a
Oh, this is
full-on
my
rain
favorite.
that, over the course of the afternoon, becomes a full-on downpour. Just
This is honestly my favorite.
As it starts, I would like to start laughing
okay.
because none of us got cloaks.
I got a
Correct.
cloak.
What's a cloak?
Helps keep you from getting wet in these exact situations. So
And
I will
then-
begin just laughing maniacally.
Okay. Then off the eastern coast of Alavra, the winds pick up, and again it starts off kind of slow until ultimately the rain comes in at this diagonal hard angle that just batters across the side of you.
Shut up, Mom.
We got water skins!
You're just getting kind of belted. To give you guys a heads up,
I'm gonna stare at you.
heavy rain means that
Visibility is fuck.
disadvantage on perception checks that rely on sight and sound, and strong winds make it so all open flames are extinguished, disperses fog, makes flying impossible, and disadvantage on any ranged weapon attack rolls. So, as you trudge on, just getting battered. See.
Are there any trees around us at all?
Nope.
None. It's all grass.
Grasslands!
Yeah, plain.
Yeah.
Tall grass?
It's called the island step.
It's not tall enough to hide under.
No. Could we gather some up and like put it
Thatch together hats.
Yeah, I guess. Or like something to
could
put
try
like
to.
umbrellas.
If you would like, I will cut as much grass as you need.
Can anybody
He's
Hey,
just
go
like
ahead,
walking
Wow.
with it.
is
He's like,
anybody are you gonna help put together?
I'll help.
So we can at least
Because
I just wanna make like umbrellas or hats, something.
hats are
you
probably
can
our
certainly
best
try.
bet. I'll help.
Step 1 is going to be I need you
I
to
will
make
watch
an
fascinatedly.
intelligence check, please.
Check.
That I can't help.
9.
9.
Damn me.
As he's just kind of walking with the blade out, you just see it falling over this thing. You begin kind of collecting bundles, and then you look at them and you're like, I got this.
Good.
So now
Okay,
I need you
cool.
to make a you're going to be making we'll say sleight of hand. It's a dexterity sort of thing to kind of thatch these together.
Nice. 16.
After over the course of about an hour of just getting absolutely just beaten with the rain, and you're trying to like
Well, I also
get this.
cut my hands a little bit on the grass because sometimes that happens.
As you're trying to go through, you create what you think would be a working prototype, and you put it on. It's just getting battered right. It's not.
We're throwing on the fucking ground.
Just throw it on the-
Can I pick it up and look at it?
Mhm.
And then I'm gonna try to make my own with
Okay,
because I'm
make-
sure there's plenty of grass.
Make an intelligence check.
Yeah, you're just
Okay.
standing there with bundles of grass. It's
Figure
like,
out a way to.
are you going?
Have a bundle in one hand and fucking sword in the grass on the other.
It's a-
7.
7. All right, go ahead and make a sleight of hand check.
That's horribly cocked. So that comes out to a 26 because it was a natural 20.
Natural 20. So you get the image in your head of what you're gonna do, and you take the one that she has, and you begin weaving together very mechanically a much better version. And as you kind of like take that and put it, and just it just begins to kind of separate and fall apart. And while artfully put together, the construction was the flaw.
I'm aware it.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe.
On your
Oh,
head.
so the
Until it
base.
falls apart.
Yeah,
base
it
was-
will.
The idea in your
Flawed.
head was flawed.
Mine looks exactly like hers. Like, precisely
So,
like hers.
I imagine mine being like grass I put over my head and then wrapped
Mine
a
doesn't
thing
look
around
anything
and then
like
tried
that.
to push up
Mine
the
looks like a
edges.
bad mesh.
Okay.
With an indent in it.
Mine's the cart.
Hiding
Damn it.
under the car.
Yeah.
Okay. Fair
Thank
enough.
you, Mom, for trying to help,
Um,
and thank you, Theta.
You
I mean,
noticed
hat.
that. You noticed
I
that.
already have a hat.
Mr. Florin was using an umbrella until it blew inwards, and then he was just like, he set it back into his little like
Aw.
in his little seat area, and he's just like, fucking just kidding.
We're doomed.
But he has a large hat that's being blown
Well,
into the
should we
side of him.
just-
But he just
Should we keep pushing on until?
Of course we're gonna keep
Okay,
pushing.
No,
on.
we should sit down in this rain.
your
and
movement is slow, but you can still make it.
Well, good thing
easy.
we don't
Well,
hunt today.
Have you
We've got
considered
weapons.
maybe trying to take a grass skirt and just extend it up?
Do you
cover
guys
it?
want to push through the whole day?
Yeah.
Yes.
'cause we
Yeah.
got food.
I need everyone to make Constitution saving throws.
Oh, I'm so good at these.
I am.
Movement is
Oh!
restricted.
Oh, you're betraying me now.
Oh, thank you.
Ooh, that's not bad.
I know, I'm like, oh,
Except it's
no.
-2.
19.
24.
Nice.
I'm sorry, 22.
24.
Okay,
No,
15 or
You
lower,
took yours.
you have one level of exhaustion. As you're pushing through, just being like trudged, you're walking, you're just getting absolutely battered. And
Night
what
of rest
first,
clears that, right?
each night of rest clears up one.
Yeah.
Yes, correct. So, who's doing what throughout the course of the day as you're just getting beaten
Okay,
to
well,
shit?
what does that mean? Sorry. One level of exhaustion.
Disadvantage on all ability checks.
I am staying,
Not saving throws and not attack rolls, just ability checks.
I am staying under the cart.
Okay.
I am going to attempt to. Yeah, I'm gonna navigate for us. Unless we don't really need it. We're still on the road.
The
Or
road
not.
is nigh impossible to see.
Alright.
You can go ahead and
Does
attempt to
Mr.
navigate.
Florence seem like he knows what he's doing?
He does, yes. He seems to be very familiar with the area.
Oh, that's right. I'm gonna ask him. Have you been through this area? Like,
Yes.
no. Calm down. Like this time of year before?
What?
Have you been through this area like this time of year before?
Yep.
Is it gonna keep doing this? Like, is this a seasonal thing or a random thing?
I hope not. It's seasonal, but just kidding. Inside the cart, you hear.
Is this like a rainy season?
It's the weather season. That's for sure.
All kinds of weather. Sunny,
Oh,
Patterns.
snowy,
This is the one where you get all of them.
Yay!
tornadoes.
Hurricanes? Sharknadoes?
Okay. Is anybody gathering food?
No. I'm
No.
not.
We should have enough from
Yeah.
yesterday
That's-
with the wolf that we cooked and
All right. Yep.
some wolf steak.
All right. So,
Wolf kebabs.
you guys travel from the majority of the day like this.
How much of the do we mark off? How much of the wolf meat do we mark off?
All of it.
Yeah.
Okay. I just wanna make sure.
I'd like to take, even though nobody can hear me, I want to sing some Sarmanian marching songs.
Okay. Easy enough. You just kind of like pipe up on occasion. You get a couple looks from the people with you, but no, nothing too crazy.
No takers? Fuckers.
Nobody seems to know them.
I would, but I'm tired.
And I'm tired. I'm feeling
like,
you.
I would, but I'm exhausted.
Come on, guys. It's fun. You gotta raise the spirits
guys
when the
have-
weather's
That's my one
down.
level of exhaustion, by the way.
I'm
pretty
gonna
much
carry a
done for the
bucket
day.
with me too. The bucket I got to
Yeah, we
drink
bought a
out with
bucket.
some water. But
It's gonna get heavy.
Well, we fill up the water skins from it.
yeah. So
And then-
occasionally I'll fall for skin, whatever I collect. That's cool.
We could also just turkey it, couldn't we?
I need to make another Constitution saving throw.
Bean,
He wants to make one too.
you wanna help me? And me too. She wasn't listening.
Look at dice.
You're a failure.
Wow, that
Wow.
not a failure.
Shit.
The person who rolls bad all the time is blaming something besides
He
herself.
sniffed it. He didn't lick it.
A 3 after, as you carry this bucket around and you're just filling it up, you're just letting this weight kind of build up on you, and then you fill up the water
Okay.
skins, and then you let this, you get a second level of exhaustion.
Occasionally I'll drink out of the bucket. a little
Your
bit.
speed is halved.
I have a little chart over here.
Anybody else doing anything? What are you doing?
Try not to fall over.
I look. I leap.
I'm talking to Mr. Florent. I don't think he can hear me.
If he seems like he's feeling pretty good, I'll give him the bucket. Here.
Who?
Him.
Have we filled all the water skins for the day?
How far did we get with that process?
I would say over the course of the whole day, you'd be fine.
That's what caused your exhaustion.
That's
was
what, yeah.
Oh,
carrying
okay.
the weight of the bucket to fill the water skins caused you to
Just
take that
carry some
exhaustion.
water.
Okay.
Why?
So I can have some for later. If I see him do that, I'm taking the bucket back. He's obviously not taking this seriously.
I think she wants one
Raining.
extra bucket to put on that.
It's raining.
Yeah, but you can't put your water skin on.
Yeah.
That'd take way too long.
Wait, just go ahead.
And
Are you
then-
still pouring
You
it
know
out?
what? Take that.
Alright, then I'm taking the bucket back.
Okay.
We'll get the
All right. So, with that being said, your movement speed is ultimately slowed down as the progression of the carriage is you're just being battered for most of the day. However, you wind down. What are you guys doing for sleeping arrangement?
I'm going in a tent.
Okay, so you climb in the tent. It's got room for one more.
I'm going in the tent.
Going in the tent. As
Yeah,
well?
we'll both go in a tent.
What about the rest of you?
I'm under the cart, sleeping.
I'm gonna sit up against the cart.
Let me get my my thing here. For lack of sleep, it's gonna be hard to sleep in the rain. What you doing?
Yeah, we're fucked. I'm gonna try crawling under the cart
I was
too.
gonna say, can you put what's on there?
Okay.
Do they have tents, the other people?
They got 1 and 1. They're partnered up 2 and
Okay.
2. Biro sleeps inside of her
Of course.
carriage. However, she does invite Mr. Florin in to
Oh, good.
take up the secondary,
Slot.
the secondary bench in there.
And I'll sleep under with Zongag. Gonna be cuddle buddies.
I have one.
3 deep then.
Alright, I'll be a little spoon.
You don't want to be the jetpack?
All right. So I think the only one affected is Ma.
I
Kinda
think
half.
the cart is on that.
and partially under the cart.
It'll be me too.
Go ahead, both of you make
Because I'm not under the. I'm not taking up
Constitution
valuable space. under the
saving
cart.
throws.
Nice. 24.
Oh, thank God.
Imagine I just nap
12.
the next day.
12, success.
It should be hard.
As the evening presses on, you're in and out, slipping, kind of like just being kind of hit. You empty yourself out occasionally. But
so many creases.
ultimately, you both manage to get enough rest to not be too beaten up. You can lose 1 level of exhaustion due to sleeping
Let's say that my hat falls apart during the night.
as you lay
Over
there.
the course of the evening, it just slowly
Um,
just falls to tatters.
And as the morning comes up, you don't see sunlight, but the rain begins to ease up. And it becomes that occasional, like 1 drop every
Well, it's back to my favorite kind of weather.
couple minutes. However, as the sun finally rises and you guys begin to kind of wake up a little bit miserable, still soaked for the most part, the temperature begins to rise and it starts becoming like muggy, like more and more
Yeah.
muggy outside.
110% humidity.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
It's breathing water.
what would you guys like to do for today?
So it's not raining, or it's
It
just
is, it's like
Um,
it's like 1 drop every couple
I'm
minutes.
gonna
we're
go
like
forage.
I would like to check the wheels of the cart.
Okay, go ahead and make an investigation check.
Forage.
You're gonna be foraging.
Man.
If it doesn't look like it's too bad, I'll go out
Also,
for it.
investigation.
Okay.
That's great.
I will also go and forage.
I would like to go look for stinky things.
Okay, go ahead and make a survival check.
23.
23. As you approach the cart and Mr. Florian comes out, he's like wringing out some of his old, he's wringing out his shirt. He's got like that old skeletal frame and he's got a couple little bolt marks, from probably taking out. a
I'll
couple
join
hits.
him. I'm going to take my hat off.
He like goes through it. You guys are doing like the side by side same thing. Occasionally the eye.
Well, for foraging.
Eventually you both kind of like he puts his shirt on. He heads up to the front. He sees you checking the wheels, so he comes down and he looks to you and he's like,
Edie's being.
they seem to be good, still sturdy.
And they're not entrenched into the mud.
No.
Okay. That was, sorry, I should have been more accurate. Or more specific. That's specifically, I was checking to see if the ground had gotten muddy enough that our cart had sunk to the point we're going to have trouble getting out.
No, luckily
It's being driven by a horse?
2 horses.
2 horses. How are they?
You go up to them. Check. Go ahead and make a animal handling check.
My survival's at disadvantage, right?
All ability check.
Yeah. Okay, so that was 9.
9. Looking around, you can't seem to find anything. You find some feces and stuff, but you think you'll need more than that, just because eventually that'll dry out and not smell as bad anymore from some kind of droppings. But you don't think that's going to be enough of a catalyst to function
I
right.
should have left some meat.
Hi there, Big P. 2.
Hello.
How many 2s in there? 3 vapes. Yeah, that's true. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah.
So you check on the
That's true,
animals.
I'm
They
sorry.
seem
Nicotine habits.
tired, but as the morning
17 is what I rolled.
you've been seeing Mr. Florin every morning. He goes to the back of the cart. There's that little
Strong
cabinet.
box.
Yeah, and inside they have a barrel of water that they've been
Oh, good.
feeding
Oh,
to the.
I'm gonna take the remains of my hat and offer them to the horses.
They start munching them up easy enough.
Yeah.
They seem a little tired, but the sleep. They did put blankets on them for the night, but they got soaked and now they're hanging off the back of the cart.
Oh, okay, I was gonna say I was gonna bring the blanket back then, but if they're already off from the night.
They're just hanging out there.
Florin did that because he's a good man.
So you guys prep for the morning. The other gentlemen wake up, begin tear down of their belongings. You guys all sort of gather up, and the cart base continues on the road. Forage was 12, you said. You're looking for stinky stuff.
Oh,
You're just you're
Hanging out with Florin, looking around.
keeping your eyes open. All right. Day 8 progresses much calmer than the day before, but as you keep your eyes open and looking around, you take another look off to the coastline, and you see that
More storm.
I'm gonna tap Mr. Florin on the shoulder and go, "That looks worse than the last one."
he as he turns, he's like, "Oh shit!" And his old kind of bones. He squints for a minute. He's like, "I think we're gonna be in for a really long day soon."
Is there do you know of a place where we might be able to take cover, or a way that we might be able to seek shelter, or
There's nowhere to take cover until the forest.
how far is the forest?
It's not accounting. 18 days.
About 10 days from now. Hold on, let me double check.
No, but it's a week away. So
My
even if
old
we-
brain can't.
even if we pushed ourselves very hard, we wouldn't make it before that hits us.
Yeah, it's 9 days away.
So even if we managed to go as fast as humanly possible and got 4 days out of it, we'd still be stuck in
We're gonna get hit.
it.
And it's gonna be hard.
While it is not raining, I'm gonna try another attempt at making a hat.
Alright, yeah.
I'm gonna make a hat for a horse.
Alright, go ahead and make an intelligence check, please.
Yes.
Come up with a good plan. 12 for your.
Nope. Same.
Is it a 9 again?
Yeah.
You just put this thing on the horse. The horse just keeps walking.
Maybe.
With a 12, you do manage
Decently
to find
crafted though.
enough food, but you're getting the sense that it's starting to scarce out. With the rains the way they were, probably put most things back into their holes. And with the encroaching storm coming, you get the sense that most of them are going to be hiding.
Do they also get water too? Or no?
Yeah, there's puddles now lining all over. You're going to be picking stuff up off the floor, but for the most part, you'll be gathering up enough stuff.
I don't want to get. Maybe you're gonna ignore this, but should we boil that water or no?
No.
Okay.
Not important. It's a
Hilarious.
clean
You're just
fantasy
gonna
world.
get
Okay, that's
dysentery.
what yeah,
You're
he's
just
like,
gonna
you
get
So-
feel a
dysentery.
grumbling in your tummy. I'm like, damn it, I asked about
I got the dysentery.
Oh no, it's not bacteria. It's parasites.
You're eaten by
That
a
night.
tiger.
I assume that's at that night. I want to bring the entire adventuring group together, if I can.
Mm-hmm.
Do I see a
Oh, it's not
lightning
windy anymore,
strikes?
right?
No.
No.
So
it's
when
just
we
mud.
stop for the night, I'm gonna prioritize making a fire to start drying out articles of clothing. around.
Yeah.
Good call.
Like a nice solid fire.
And I will use constrict to help bring some of that shit out. But more importantly, while we're in this process, I'm going to be addressing everybody. Gentlemen, lady, we know there's another storm coming. It'll be here in a
It's
few
worse
days.
than the last one.
We need to work together here to try and figure out some manner of grass cloak or hats or something. So if we can just think tank this, if we can brainstorm together
Okay.
and try to come up with something
Perhaps
working.
our traveling companions would know something about that.
Yeah, we're all there.
Here.
They all kind of
It's a house meeting.
prep up. You notice the older gentleman, Mr. Clemens, he's putting on a cloak
Damn it! They don't need to think about this.
Mr. Ahmad, you actually remember had one already on. The other two are kind of like just standing there like,
Okay.
yeah, that's a good idea. Maybe we should do that. The one gentleman's kind of like carting his horse around.
Is there?
I mean, a grass skirt is one thing. So if we just make a bunch of different grass skirts, I feel like we could just stack them. You know, shoulders, chest, hips.
Is there
You
anything?
say just like we know how to make that.
Well, I know that's baby steps.
Is there anything in
You
the
see my hats?
wild that you could spread on stuff as waterproofing? Like
Not really
anything
available.
sticky?
There are plants that have waxes.
That's what I mean. Like something
But
But
like
it's not
that.
going to be enough to make
Okay.
anything.
We're gonna find that in
Yeah.
forest.
Yeah,
Um,
of course.
I think our best bet is we don't have any. We didn't think about this at the time, but if we had taken some of the sinew from the wolves, that could have dried out and been fairly decent robe.
Or more hide from the wolves.
I have shirts.
Oh yeah, he's
Or
got
more
hide.
I have
You got
tails.
shirts too.
I'm not giving you this hide. You
Okay.
can have my shirts though.
We
I
don't
don't
need
want
your
your
shirts on, guys.
But to make the string,
No.
We're not
Um,
gonna tear it apart.
Yeah.
You can make string from the plants. If
Okay.
you don't know.
but these are disposable.
You need
But they're not waterproof
Yeah.
or water resistant.
Well, he just
I
means
know.
he means to make the string from it, but
Oh.
I'd like to avoid that if we can.
So can we sit down and argue with each
Yeah.
other about the right way to put together a hat?
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys want to
That's
come
what
up
we're
with it?
doing tonight. Is
Okay.
Does anybody have proficiency in any tools? Tool proficiencies that are useful in this
Tinkers.
scenario?
In this
Tinkers?
scenario.
and alchemist kit
Maybe.
thieves
Alchemist.
tools.
I would like
playing
to build
card,
a
card.
sewing machine.
Yeah.
I wish to create a potion.
Okay, you've made a sewing
can
machine.
drum.
You don't have any thread.
Huh?
Damn
I
it!
said I can drum.
I can drum. Do you have any tool proficiencies? These tools?
Dice and land vehicles.
yeah.
I could drive to the store to get some rope.
What about
Don't we have them?
Lauren?
We do. have
What's
that.
his knowledge
it's a little,
up
It's a
there?
little thing.
He knows how to drive a cart.
Knows how to drive a car.
Yeah,
He
that's
is good at it.
Proficient
Okay.
in
I
land
would argue that
vehicles.
he is expertise in land.
Ooh.
Okay.
He's also
Um,
old.
He is really
He's proficient in age.
and wisdom.
in
His
life.
wisdom's up the
He's
chart.
proficient in life.
Yeah, I don't have any ideas. I don't know. So whatever you guys think.
Well, I mean, you remember the Grimlocks? How was their grass skirt set up?
I was not.
You don't remember that. Data, you remember the Grimlocks,
I
right?
remember more of the inside of a
Their
Grimlock
skin
than
would've
the
been good for
outside of
that,
a
I
That's
think.
right. Guys, you remember the Grimlocks, right?
Yeah, it was like my people.
What's a grimlock?
They do have. They did use grass type stuff.
How did the goblins do it?
Well, we would eat the flesh and the skin off things and then wear the bones.
Bones would be good too.
All right.
Bones would make a great umbrella.
Bones would be terrible.
Disagree.
It'd have to be really big.
Sturdy.
I mean, you could carry a rib cage over you. Yes.
I mean, if you weave it like a basket, it should work just fine, right?
Theoretically, but then we have to weave the basket, and that seems to be where our friends.
Well, we're having problems with the design, like the construction, like the
It's the
design of
construction
it.
and the
Yeah.
material that you're using.
We're really good
because
at putting it
these
together.
plant fibers they're alive and not sturdy. So when they get wet, they just become
Yeah.
wet
Well,
slime.
we'd have to
You
dry
need
them
them
out first.
alive to weave them, but then you let them dry.
Is
and then
that
they're good.
is that where we're failing? Is the drying out part?
You're failing in a lot of parts. Mostly we're
Damn it!
all-
There's not one.
But I'm trying to
Wait,
think.
I have an idea.
Who has survival?
I have survival.
I do.
Okay. But you survived in the wild. That was about it.
Me?
But he didn't use the same materials. I will allow Zongak.
I thought I had an idea, but
Zongak can attempt to assist you in making grass like skirts, or basically like the same thing, but for cloak, a mantle, and all that shit.
Yeah.
No hat.
However, he's the only one that actually would have the know-how to use the materials properly.
Yeah, I imagine.
Look,
Look, my next idea is we just start butchering animals. Like
Yeah, but-
tomorrow we go tracking, look for fucking
But did
large
you
enough
guys
animals
find
to.
Any-
We found some food, and I mean they're going back in their holes, but we're looking for little things for food. I'm thinking tomorrow, just gonna look
Rhino?
for
But he was
wolves,
saying
rhinos.
that it was starting
something.
to thin out. Like there
Yes.
wasn't any animals.
No,
so.
and I'm aware of that, but the animals we're hunting for food versus the animals we're hunting like the wolves.
I
You
think
know,
if you guys would find a wolf or something, you would have killed her, right?
not necessarily.
No,
We're not looking for a
That's more
fight.
food, right?
Yeah, we're not looking for a fight. We're looking for
Yeah.
small animals. for food.
Gophers.
Go for badgers.
Well,
Takes
so
a lot.
should we
mushrooms.
go further, like leave the cart
A feather.
and then go further off the path
A
to
little
try to
bit.
find?
Maybe.
Maybe a deer.
Is there any waterproof animals around here?
Most
Most animals are
Like
waterproof.
giant
Just
giant
FYI.
salamanders or some shit?
That's, I mean,
Well, no, anything with a double coat.
anything with a coat is waterproof because when you put it on, you'll be wearing a double coat.
Yeah, exactly.
Skin
Like
and
anything
fur.
Skin that like
Which I
water.
already
Just skin and skin. Like,
So,
that's yours and somebody else's.
But don't we have to? Do we have to dry it or whatever? You were saying. Well, that's for like.
If you want it to be a cloak for a long time, you're gonna wear it for a couple of days. It's just gonna
No.
smell gross.
which
All
I
right,
have been
and we
doing.
can clean it. Yeah, as long as it smells like shit.
All right. So what's the plan?
No, he smells like rotting meat.
All right, we'll bounce ideas off, but if nobody can come up
So,
with a
I
decent
think-
construction, we'll just call it, and I'll be like, well, tomorrow we'll go out. Some of us will
Well,
hunt for
maybe-
food. Some of us will hunt for larger
I
animals
mean,
to skin and,
I'm
and
still
wear.
tired, but should we
You go to sleep.
I will, but should we go off the path like really early in the morning to go before like the storm?
A few of us, yeah.
I think the storm will arrive in the night.
Is that true?
That's a good estimate.
Can you?
I can't confirm that.
Can you do a weather check?
You sure can?
Well, no, we don't need a
I
weather
wanted to
check.
say can.
We don't need a weather check. Point to theta. Does your things? say-
Oh, I have a barometer.
Shit.
You barometric.
I don't know what the
traps
fuck
and
they
traps.
have in there. I know
Yeah,
you
weird.
flip it up and you say things, and I don't understand them sometimes. But
Yeah, barometric pressure is very high at the moment. It's not looking good for us.
Like it'll come.
The
before
Bears
morning?
Yes.
aren't looking good for us, Lou. It's gonna be a very
I'm
bad
confident in
night.
saying that the storm will be here before morning.
Okay.
So what am
I could be
doing?
wrong, but I'm confident in saying that.
If you can try to make some manner of water repellent apparel, a grass skirt, if you will. If we
Doesn't
can
have to be
just
grass.
if we
An intelligence check.
if we can just
sir.
figure out a way to get it to work.
That's neat.
Eight. Okay. So go ahead and make a dexterity-based survival check.
That is a 15.
15. So he begins to kind of rip the grass like long ways, and then he begins to rip multiples of them, and then he like begins to kind of weave them together very crudely to create rope, and then he begins taking the plant fibers and wrapping them around individually all the way down and trying to like layer this thing. And as he's doing it, he eventually creates one cloak. Like it can go around your head, and you can
Like big enough for
Hold on.
Zondak?
no, just big enough for one person. It takes him a
How
while.
long? I was
to
gonna say,
create.
how long did it take him to do that?
It's taking him a while as you guys are settling down. Yeah, it's gonna take him quite some time. It's layers and layers and layers. Because if he just did one, it would do nothing.
Right, right.
So he needs to create more
So-
rope, and then he has to do that, and he has to keep them. And then he has to bind all of them together in order to get it to stay to one.
Where was the bleedy guy?
Mod is
He has a cloak.
he's currently resting as you guys are all kind of like sitting around talking. He's resting up
You
against
should
the.
rest.
I
I
give
will.
one of the
I just
other
wanna
You
make
guys.
should rest.
I will, but I want to make sure we
Put it on his head.
No, you should rest.
Lou,
You're exhausted.
The one
We'll give
gentleman.
you-
Thanks you.
We'll
That
tell
is
you
bad.
what the plan
That's
is.
the worst.
Timon.
Timon.
Is Pumbaa at home?
Maybe. That's what he calls his wife.
That's what he calls his husband.
All right.
Ooh, yeah, maybe.
All right. So I'll set the
We
tent
don't
up.
know.
And
I-
Timon and
I'm-
Pumbaa, dude, if they could.
who's
And then I
coming-
put my wolf skin up and go back under the
Who's coming in the tent?
walls.
I feel like we should still look for food at night if we can.
I mean, the tent
Those of
is
us who have
open.
dark vision.
Just
might
kind of, like,
wanna
announce
give it
yourself.
a chance before
I'm
the
gonna-
storm gets here. You
in the tent.
know.
Yeah.
Those of us who can,
I get the
you
tent.
know, see in the dark.
Go to
might
sleep.
wanna-
Raw.
Just saying, we kind of need food, so like.
All right, what's the sleeping
Tons of
arrangement real quick?
rations. We got tons of rations.
Tent
No,
under the
he
cart.
ate all my
Next to the
rations
cart.
Next to the cart.
We got more?
months ago.
No,
Under
I
the
bought. We I
Under the
bought
cart.
rations for
Out of the
everybody.
tent.
Going in the tent. All right. Everyone
You should
begins to
have-
set up
Hold on one second.
Go
You
ahead.
should have 5 rations,
Oh, yeah.
as well.
and then we
also,
got
too.
3, I think, from. So you should have like, or we got some. We
From
got
what?
some. The food from the beginning.
What beginning?
Remember?
No, we bought our own.
No. Remember we talked about this. They had provided some food.
They said they were going to. They haven't
Right.
provided it.
Oh,
yet.
they have.
Oh, good.
Okay. Then never mind.
So everybody has 5 rations.
Yeah, everybody has 5
They
rations.
have a store that they will hand out.
Okay.
as
I didn't know
necessary.
if we because I had some extra.
Also as necessary. So if you don't
Okay.
need them, they're not just gonna be like here.
Right. Okay. So yeah, 5 rations.
Okay, so the evening passes. You guys begin to sleep. It doesn't take long before the wind begins to pick up. It goes from like a low
Who's in the
into a
tent?
howl as it begins to pick up
Right.
louder and louder. You two sleeping in the tent. Your tent is battered by just this high wind that kind of like shakes the exterior of it. Theta, as you're kind of like sitting there, you just see nothing but just wind, all the grass moving towards you. You're just getting battered with the occasional leaf, little pebble, and you're just like kind of sitting there, and you can just see it just growing darker and darker, and the occasional just massive thunderbolts streaking out. And you start to realize that like depth-wise, as it's moving closer, it almost seems like it hasn't even left the coast. Like this, just the
Really?
size of the storm is significant.
Who's under the crowd?
Zongek and him, he's kind of like poking out.
Oh, I
Zongek.
pulled the
Storms.
wolf cloak over both of us. It's not very
Aw.
good,
I will leave the cloak over you because you produce a lot of body heat. So I'm just gonna curl
Snuggle
around
together.
him.
Not anymore. Not anymore. He doesn't.
Yeah.
Damn it!
He burned that shit right on.
Oh
Yeah.
shit.
Son of
Yeah.
a bitch.
That was when you got all
That's what happens
obsidian.
when you let a deity diddle you.
Okay.
I'm gonna lean down to that.
There was a pretty high percent chance it was just gonna kill him. So
You don't need to
he
diddle.
needs to know.
That he
I'm
got
gonna
diddled.
lean down to them and go. This storm is a lot bigger than the last storm.
I know.
No, like easily 3 times the size.
Yeah. That's how it
Possibly
works.
larger.
That's how this works, Theta.
Look at this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me show you my.
Show them all the
You're gonna read
instruments.
that shit.
Things are just like moving.
You pretty much just showed
No, they're not
Chinese.
moving. They're all just stuck on high.
I don't know what that.
Okay, do you see green?
Okay.
You know what green is?
Yes.
You know what yellow is?
Yes.
You know what red is?
Yes.
See how they're all in the red?
Yes.
I will let you infer what that means.
But we don't have like stoplights or anything, so like what is red?
We have colors.
Yeah, red has been bad
Yeah, I
sometimes.
guess so.
Yeah, every time there's a thunder strike, I start shaking.
Oh, like a dog.
Yeah.
I'll snuggle you, buddy.
Watch out for
call
the
it?
spikes.
That's what
Yeah,
you
I was
put
like, you
dogs-
get stabbed. by
Gently,
spikes.
gently.
Bullshit.
It's
No,
okay.
no,
buddy.
it works.
Yeah, look at
No, it's like a really tight compression.
I
sweater.
need everyone to make Constitution saving throw, please,
Hooray!
including the people.
Hey, nice. Not bad.
Ooh, so good.
Good lord, I'm corrosion resistant.
Oh, even worse.
16.
16? 3? 0. Oh no.
Oh my,
It's a natural 1 minus
I-
2.
oh my god.
So negative
Negative 1.
8.
8.
20.
20.
19.
19. Okay. Anybody below a 10, you are roused in the early hours of the morning to this cacophonous sort of as the storm is centrally upon you. The lightning calls out from all over. Just the sky basically becomes almost like this, just like flitters and flashes of just brilliant light, these loud explosions. The rain you can hear coming. It's just like this wall of water just moving slowly towards you, and the wind is picking up into this like deafening howl that just shrieks by. And you are awoken, not necessarily in any sort of negatives per se, but you are awoken and you will not be able to return to sleep as you are up early.
Well, stop moving around. I guess imagine like
Just like,
crashing and
shut
Shut up.
go to sleep.
Um,
Yeah, shut up.
And as the first few hours of the storm begin to hit, Theta being the only one outside, you just, as you watch the sheet of water come closer, you're like, huh. And then it's just like, just over your head, it just smashes into the cart. And within the first hour, you get the sense that movement is going to be impossible.
Mhm.
Like just maneuvering through this area. However, I need Zongek to make a strength saving throw at disadvantage, and I need you to make a strength saving throw normally.
Okay.
Both of you.
Well, hold on now. I'm snuggling him. Does that help?
Yeah, sure.
All right.
That cancel it out. So whatever your base one was.
25.
25. Cool.
15.
15. As the wind begins to pick up more and more, the cart begins to and it begins to rock back and forth very dangerously. And as it like rocks up one time, you kind of feel like a little bit of loosening, and you're like, whoop, and you just get blown by this gust of heavy wind exactly 20 feet away as you're just
I roll really well.
yeah, you're just like ah. As you're sliding, at first you feel this like almost like your body's being picked up due to your low weight. You just like kind of feel a little strange, and Ma instinctively pulls you tight as you're just like, and Ma also a little bit begins to move within the first. The tents
Oh gosh.
Flip.
Ah! Is that how we wake up?
That is how you are awoken to the tent, actually pushing both of you over as you basically have a giant sail.
Alright.
You,
The bitch starts
as you're
rocking.
rolling, you see the two other gentlemen in the tents. They're like scrambling to get out. They're like, and as they climb out, the tent just
Goodbye.
flies
I
away.
do not want that to happen to my tent.
Okay, so what are you doing?
Staying in the
I'll
tent.
make Ross stand in it while I start packing it up.
Ron's gonna go with it here in about 2 seconds.
Oh, he's
Yeah.
so
As the
frail.
wind is just
Yeah.
slowly
You gotta fold it. fast.
Hold
you
it.
have to start, taking it
Wait.
apart to get it to shrink.
Or like fucking
Are
cut it.
we, well, we're going anywhere?
No,
Where
we're
were
not
you
going
going?
anywhere today.
So maybe we should just.
I would like to
Or put the tent on.
when I reach my
And then
appropriate 20 feet, I would like to take my hands and dig them into the ground. Yeah.
And you're just like kind of like holding
I
out.
would like to attempt to make my way towards the cart.
Okay, make a go ahead and make an athletics check, please.
That bitch starts
You're gonna be
rocking. You just
pushing.
fucking slam the bottom of it.
Athletics?
Knock it off up there! Jesus!
It's Lauren Bear.
God damn, Miss Black Mountain.
Appropriate.
Okay,
Like,
what happened?
7.
7. You bring the first arm up, and then it just like makes a line in the muddy sort of ground, and you're just like, huh.
So I'm gonna push my arms down
Further in, just
yeah.
to like
Kind
anchor
of like
yourself.
yeah, just make myself a little dome, half dome in the ground.
So as you're all being blown, you're trying to take your tent apart.
Well, so is the cart facing straight in the direction we were gonna go?
Yes.
Yes. You hear the horses begin to kind of call, and they begin trying to like lay down, even still kind of
Oh no!
bound to the cart itself, and they're trying to get away from it. And you see Flooring instinctively, he's trying to push the door open to the cart, and it's just blowing back in his face.
I'll try to help him get it open. So
Make
he
a
can
strength
get out.
saving throw. Make a strength saving throw. You make a strength saving throw.
Oh, that's
So good at these two.
As he lets go of you, make a strength saving throw.
At
11.
disadvantage, right?
6.
If you're laying down still, yeah. But if you get up, you can. Okay. So what was yours?
That is going to be a 18.
18.
14.
14.
16.
11.
Everyone fails as you all just get pushed dramatically. What's that? Yeah, there's lots of conversation going on. As you're all pushed roughly about 30 feet. So as you get up, Ma, you start trying to climb forward. You let go of Zongak, who instinctively pops up and then just
Zongak, no!
along with a heavy gust. And as you grab onto the side of the cart and you push your way out, as you can see Mr. Flooring trying to, you grab and you begin shaking, and then your foot slips and you just go with it.
Ma, no!
You all go down, gone. Your tent. As you
I'm
lost,
gonna go chase the tent.
you lost control.
I
You're
wanna
bad.
go
Good
back.
luck standing up.
Yeah, go for it.
Um,
Please go chase the tent.
So all of you are knocked
You're gonna
30 feet,
disappear.
and you're knocked prone as you're being pinned down by the.
Can I use my reaction
Hmm.
with my sword?
Okay.
Pass
God.
it into the ground and use it like a handle. Hold
I'll
myself.
go right
No, no, no. Make sure I put the blade part like this way, so that way it acts as a stopper, so I don't keep. Like even that, just to slow me down.
You get the sense it might be a better idea to use the scimitar, because anytime it
That's
slides, you're
fine.
just like, and it just cuts a hole through the
I
ground.
don't have a scimitar anymore. I traded it.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, what are you doing?
I'm chasing my tent.
You're still knocked prone.
Oh no, I tried to get up.
You get up and you can make another strength saving throw.
Okay. Tent. It's a 3.
Can we
Three.
talk about your priorities?
You are knocked an additional
Yeah,
20
but
feet as
yeah,
you are knocked
no,
prone.
It's raining.
Once we're all stopped, I'm going
Uh,
to
You're
start.
100 feet away
Sorry.
from everyone.
You failed twice in a row now.
Yeah.
You take 12 points of bludgeoning damage.
Falling, is it?
No,
Yeah, you're being
Okay.
tumbled.
bludgeoning. You're just
Okay.
as these are
How much?
hurricane force winds that are coming in.
Yeah, this
Um,
is Florida and Katrina.
12 points. However, I would like to preface everyone who knows this: this damage is non-lethal.
Okay.
So you can be dropped to 1, and something else might kill you, but this
Small rock.
All
this
right.
will continually knock you around.
I am. I'm gonna lay prone. I'm gonna call out to everybody. Everybody, just stay low. Try to crawl back to the cart.
I tried that. It doesn't work.
I'm sorry, Theta. You're very light.
I'm going to
So,
go into
yeah.
a rage,
Right.
Oh.
Okay.
and I'm going to take
Fist gauntlet.
Fist gauntlet and the spear, and just back to the cart.
Go ahead and make a strength check or an athletics check, please.
Do I lose my tension?
Oh,
Yes,
it's gone.
yes.
It was gone the minute the storm picked up.
Because I mean, I think even if you chased it down, it's still probably 30 feet in the
And
air.
that's a 25.
25.
And if you
You
grabbed it, it becomes a.
and I want to preface this very slowly due to the DC is ridiculous. As you begin to smash into the ground, you are still struggling, but you are making steady progress, going up. And within the minute of your rage, you'll be able to reach the cart. Well, what's your movement speed?
30.
So you moved. Yeah, you'll be able to reach the cart, no problem. You pull up in
If
your.
I still have enough rage, I want to just grab the door and just yank it as hard as I can.
Try to open it up for him.
Yeah.
Oh, he's 61 years old. He's not going to be able to.
And yes,
The door opens and he's smashed up against the bag, but
Aw.
he kind of like you see him trying to get out. He's
If
trying
I
to
can, I'm going to.
help him out.
Yeah.
You grab him and begin to pull, and he's like, and he's calling out, and you just can't hear anything. Just the wind is just going crazy, but he's crawling along the side of this thing, trying to get to the horses. They lay down. He begins to try to unbuckle them from the cart itself, just to make sure that they don't get.
Are they actual buckles? Because then I'll start.
You move
doing the
with
other
him,
one.
just climbing very creepily with like blank eyes, just like gotta do it. You begin to unpull them.
There's
but
only 2
still-
horses, so.
2 horses. As it's beginning to rock, how long are you guys staying low into the ground? Climbing, right? Make an
I'll try.
athletics check.
We'll try real
Flat.
hard.
I'm going to like low crawl, like, you know.
Okay, low crawl.
How
That's
far
a hard
away am I
part.
from the
Check.
cart after
50.
chasing?
You're about 50 feet now because you were blown 30 and then 20.
I'm gonna reattach.
9.
9. You can't even move against the wind.
Fuck!
That was a cool
Uh,
roll.
12.
12 for athletics. Even with all of your might, you try to push yourself forward and you just cannot seem
You got
to
one
get closer.
inch.
I'm gonna try again. Watching Zongak go.
You're like inspired. Low.
Sub 10.
Okay, so you're just holding on, trying desperately not to. What are you doing?
I don't know. You want me
You
to
don't know. I don't know.
She's distraught at the loss of her tent. She can't think.
Um,
You know what you should do? You get a bed sheet, hold all 4 corners, and just
do we? I guess
go where
I'll
the
just
world
hang on.
takes you.
Wait and wait.
You're gonna hold on.
Till it gets
Just-
better.
All right. For those of you that attempt to climb back, I need you guys to make Constitution saving throws, please. No,
Oh, that's fucking high. Eat a dick.
because you succeeded.
22.
22, you're good.
24.
3, you gain another level of exhaustion.
What
As
the
you are
fuck?
now back at
He
1.
just dies
correct?
because of this.
Yeah, now I have 1.
So
Sorry.
you get the sense that attempting to move is very difficult. Lightning
Is
strikes
it?
begin to happen all around you.
Oh, great. Now
Um,
TPK!
from fucking weather.
Now that I've given up on moving, I'd like to look around and try and determine if this storm may be in any way influenced by magic.
Make an Arcana check.
Not good at those.
Okay.
I'm really not good at those. Arcana? This
Mhm.
is 6.
6. Looking around, you've seen some natural magic cast. This does not seem to
Just
be.
seems like a bad storm.
Yeah, it just
Cool.
seems to be really bad luck. Because I rolled for weather. So it's really bad luck.
I was just curious if if this is an assassination attempt by somebody really powerful that just got the right butterfly to
There's-
flap.
It's just Saruman on
He's
top
on
of the
on top of his tower. Doing his thing. All right. So, what's the plan?
I'm going to use my crowbar. Hook the ground.
Okay.
Try to crawl my happy ass back.
That will also give you advantage on your climb. So go ahead and make an athletics check, please. Add advantage,
Can I
sir.
see
He's
it?
just
I
going to
can't
open
see
the
it all,
ground
right?
up and it's just going to go away.
Fuck!
An advantage? You good? Alright.
5.
5.
I got
Make
4 and a 3.
Make a Constitution saving throw, please.
God damn this weather. Bullshit. I'm sorry, that was a 7. If it
Okay.
matters. 12.
12.
Well,
You manage to not take a level of exhaustion as you're just being like buffeted backwards, wind and rain. Even getting the occasional plink from stones being blown across. The grass is just kind of like pushing you even harder. You manage to unbuckle the horses who instinctively kind of like stay low and they like lay down in an attempt. They're still being like pushed. You can see them like rocking and they're trying to like steady their feet. Just kind of like they're braying, but you cannot hear it. It's like even though it's this
All
close,
right.
you can't hear them
I
calling
just lay on top of one and go,
Oosh, oosh.
I have an idea,
as my rage dissipates.
and it's retarded.
out. Okay.
So, is there anybody downwind of me?
Yes.
Yes, she is 50 feet away.
And I'm,
Oh, 50
I'm
feet, you're
nearby
fucking
you.
fine. I'm gonna use my longsword, not to crawl, but to cut a hole in the ground and let
That's a
the
good
wind
idea.
take the dirt,
Okay.
and then continue to cut it until I get like a divot in the
Well-
ground where I'm not
Wait, is it
hit by
right?
the wind anymore.
Is it
Okay.
right?
I want to dig my own grave with my sword.
Is it right or no?
Yes.
Oh,
so
it's,
that's
yeah.
gonna fill with water.
It's a watery
Don't
grave.
worry, the wind will take the water out.
All right. So as you begin to you just carve it out. It's surprisingly easy. Your hands kind of struggling. I need you to make a strength saving throw since you kind of have to
Yeah.
reduce to one hand. And
Hey, dear.
Oh yay!
What would a grappling hook do to the ground?
Oh, it would go
Good question.
I mean, if you dig it in, you might be able to like use it as an anchor, yeah, for a bit.
16.
16. As you begin cutting, your hands begin to, and you're like, oh no, as you go flying 40 feet back, and you take. Oh, that's not bad. That also wasn't bad. You take 3 points of non-lethal bludgeoning damage.
Damn it.
As you just roll back, you almost lose a grip on Marvellius as you're spinning, and it's just like a lightsaber just cutting through the ground as you roll. And you just see Mom.
Bye,
Goodbye.
Mom. I'll yell it loudly though, so you can hear me over the wind.
You hear just like the little just over the. Just
Watching that
noise.
happen, I'm just gonna hunker.
Just,
I'm a
no,
dome, so that might help.
No, it's just
Yeah.
aerodynamic.
Yeah.
If they had the little smoke screen, you'd be the car test commercial.
You can see the turbulence behind me.
Does anybody else have a grappling hook?
Nope.
Yes,
You do?
He's
that's my
behind you
next
now.
idea.
Yeah. Well, we could,
He's behind you.
if
now.
we get back to the cart, we could.
The cart is so far away.
Yeah, I know. But
As
once
you're
we get back-
you're not just holding your place there, you as you're laying on top of the horse, it's like shh. It's calming, but it's like still kind of like eyes are darting around like crazy. You just kind of stay, and then you just feel this sort of like light for a minute, feeling like it's very nice, and the car goes
That's what I was gonna
and
say.
just
We get back
slams
to the cart, we
over.
go down.
and begins to kind of through the ground. But luckily, the impact seems to have pulled up some dirt, but it's just like on its side now.
Maybe that's better this way.
I'm going to.
Honestly.
Well, I mean, provided of course she's not trapped inside or
The
down.
door
hear
goes
this-
The
up.
door's on
Yeah,
the
the door's
north
up.
side.
You hear this surprise sort of yelp for a minute from inside, and some rustling around and some definite swearing.
I was gonna say that was a really
If I
cool
could
deal.
peek inside and shout as loud as I can, "Are you okay?"
You just hear like grumbling, hair's all tousled as you kind of like peep your head through the glass, which on one end has shattered. You can see inside, and she's just like up against one of the walls, like there's like a hammer in there that looks like it's made out of like a gemstone. It's very nice, but like her armor's scattered all over. She has like a gauntlet on her head. She's like trying to bat it off. It's
God, if only we had a wizard with Leomund's
I
tiny
was
hut.
just about to say that. I was like, you know, it'd be really useful right now. A
Yeah.
bard that knew Liam and Tiny Hut.
Well,
Just
but
what I think of.
she's just like now the wind's kind of pouring in. You can see it like tussling her a bit. She's just like swearing profusely. Just flustered as she sits down,
Last attempt.
kind of like sitting on the floor, like pouting almost now, just like knocking all of her nice equipment off of her.
My final
And then
attempt at
it
I'm
this.
glad she didn't get bludgeoned to death by
Yeah,
her
right.
own hammer.
By her own weapon. Yeah, one sec.
Wrap fucking grappling hook around my arm in the ground.
Okay.
I'm gonna try making my grave again.
All right. Go ahead and make a strength saving throw since you're letting go with one of your hands.
Can you not?
I will say an advantage since you're using the grappling gun. The DC is crazy high.
Ooh, that's 18. Crazy high. I assume is above 20. So
18 is 30 feet. As
yay!
you dig in, just this, you just get picked up again.
All right. Well, as I lift off the ground, I'm just gonna scream, "I give up!"
3 points of bludgeoning damage as you just buff it into the ground and rock through. So the plan is to hunker down for the day, I'm
Yeah.
assuming.
That was my plan from the start.
Okay.
Well, I wouldn't try to use my like grappling hook and crowbar to get back to the
Okay,
cart.
make an athletics check.
Is it an advantage?
Yeah, I'll give you an advantage for your athletics.
Just because of the crowbar.
Crowbar and the weapon combined
Okay, so is it strength?
Athletics.
is athletic, yes.
18.
18.
30 feet.
Just hold on, wait
See
for
you in
it.
a second.
Oh, wait, no,
It's
he's
only 10 feet.
Oh.
as you are rocked backwards, and you take 9 points.
Damn!
I must have hit a rock.
If I'm like constantly anchored though?
You're trying to anchor. It's
Well, like,
it's one arm holding
Yeah.
you against gale force winds, and as this arm comes up, you just get blown
Okay.
away. It's not like I'm here and I'm fine, and suddenly you just fly away. That's why most of these people
Okay.
are just stuck
and
in
how many
one
points
spot.
of
Yep.
damage?
9
Well,
points
then I
of
won't try to do anymore.
Welcome to the
non-lethal
club.
bludgeoning damage.
Man, I thought the grave thing was going to be a really great idea.
I mean,
You know what?
it would have worked.
I considered it, and I was about to do it, and then you did it with your much better than my hand sword, and went flying away, and I went, never mind. I was gonna make a divot so I could like hunker, and no,
Yeah, but you had spinny hands. You could drill.
no, I could.
Alright,
I could
as
spin my hands
everyone's-
and lose my grip.
As everyone is hunkering down, I need everyone to make. We're gonna do two Constitution saving throws for the day to hold your position. Not just hold your position, but also to fight off fatigue and stress from.
God, I hope I ace both these.
I believe in you. You can do it.
Constitution?
Yes.
Ooh, that was a 19.
Oh, good. One more.
So 17.
Yeah. That's fine.
13.
15, also good.
That is a 10 and a 13.
10 and a 13, both succeed.
21 and a 20.
Both succeed.
13 and 17.
Both succeed.
10 and 17.
Both succeed. So, as you're hunkered down and
You
you're
got
just
the right plan.
and you're just staying in position, the cart doesn't seem to go much further. Luckily the horses don't seem to go much further. Unfortunately, your three companions are nowhere to be seen, as they have been summarily blown away on every check I've made for them so
Oh,
far.
God.
Oh yeah, you're not really sure
So
how
you're
far
just-
they've gone, but they're scattered somewhere amongst the
Well,
grassland.
Is he in that too?
Hmm?
Is he amongst them?
Florid is currently he's holding on, and he was knocked.
The horses, yeah.
He was knocked over, but he's currently sitting like he's holding on to the cart, and he's like up against where he would normally be sitting is now a barricade for him, as he's just like kind of got his arms wrapped in there. So this is how your day goes.
I will say, I like this. This is interesting. It sucks, but it's interesting.
Now here comes the fun part.
Oh well, never mind. Then. I think I
As
might
the
help
day
it.
winds down,
6 dire wolves.
you are incapable of eating or drinking.
Well, no
Okay.
shit. We can't do anything later.
No, you just see a dire wolf go.
Which means,
Level of 8,000.
well, hold that thought, because if you don't drink, you suffer 2 levels of exhaustion, and if you don't eat, you suffer 1.
For one day?
Yep.
What does that mean? What do you just do?
You have 3 levels of exhaustion added on to whatever you currently have.
So
Question.
I have 4.
Wait.
Oh, I did.
No,
So
6
You
is
don't
dead.
die until you
the
get
maximum for me, it's like it says maximum HP is. Oh yeah.
Half for
At
4
level
levels.
3, right?
Yes, you can be level 3.
Is that
You don't have to eat or drink. But holding yourself up there, yeah, 1. maybe.
Okay, that was my question.
So you get 3?
Yep.
You're at 4, and you're at 3,
3.
and Zongak is at 3.
But when you're the max HP is halved, is that like permanent or until you like
Just
go
until
back
you
up?
rest. Everything goes
I mean,
away.
it could be permanent if you die.
Well,
Wait.
So as the morning comes in,
No, I
Wait,
realized
are
like
you lead me to believe that we can't drink?
oh, you can open your mouth.
well, if you tried it too, it's just gonna splash it.
Yeah, I mean,
No, I just meant there's plenty of water going
I'm
around.
just enjoying the fact that like if I have to pee, I literally just have to lay back and go, and it will just
I
go
really don't
into
need
the
to
ether.
know that.
into the ether. So
hit some poor guy
as
in the
morning
face.
as morning rises on day 10, the wind is still insanely high, but not enough to cause any. It's only disadvantage on listening and sight. But the wind and rain remain. However, the storm seems to have died down to something more manageable. And you've slept on and off amongst the thunder strikes and the lightning and everything, but hunkered down in your positions as you get up, just like muscles ache and your body is tired and fatigued. Day 10 begins in unfortunate circumstances, as you have 4 levels of exhaustion, 3, 3, 3, and Uno. So, what is the plan?
I'm going straight to the cart.
Yep.
All right, straight to the cart. You guys run over there. As you
I'm still laying on the horse.
Is any of the supplies from those people around? Like, did their shit get blown away?
Yeah.
Like with them, or is it like scattered? Or
you can make an investigation check to find out.
Lou, do you want to look for our compatriots?
yeah.
Cool.
totally looking.
I'll make contact.
Investigation check. You have exhaustion.
Oh.
Advantage.
12.
12. You get up and begin to kind of look around. You see some remnants. You see like a sword stuck in the ground, and then nobody. As you begin to spread out, you begin to see that most of the bags have been kind of scattered, like their belongings have like tumbled out.
Anything I find out, well, like,
Recollect.
yeah, I'll recollect.
Okay. All right. So you begin to pick up their belongings.
Yeah.
I'll make contact with Duchess.
That's what I was doing.
Baroness, Black Mountain.
Color Duchess.
Ms. Blackman.
As you guys approach, she's currently resting inside of her carriage still. She seems disheveled. You get the sense that it's kind of warm out, so the temperature in there was pretty hot and muggy. She's like sweating and everything's kind of matted to her head. She's removed most of the exterior of her clothing. She's just kind of in like, not small clothes, but in like riding pants and just like a top.
Casual.
And she's just like, looks kind of miserable, but not as miserable as y'all. She did have like her water skin in there and everything, so she seems okay, if not uncomfortable.
Do you wish to right this carriage and press on today, or should we just wait until the wind dies down a little bit more?
It's like the door's open, just rain is coming in. She's like sitting off to one side, it just like belts the inside of her. She's like, I don't know.
Is it raining?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's still raining, and the winds are still strong. They're just not as strong enough to like hurt anybody. But she's just sitting there, and she's like, I don't care. I don't.
Fair enough.
Do we get help?
We can go either way.
I'm gonna move off to the side of the road.
Uh-huh.
We will write to
Do
you
we
when we
help
come back. We should
Yeah.
find the other.
Okay, and fix that.
We'll write you when we come back. We need to find the others.
I have an idea, Theta.
What?
We're gonna use this sword to cut divots into the ground.
Still working on that plan.
Now that I can stand, yes. So that way, should this storm pick back up, we won't be getting blown. We'll be down under the
How
ground.
far are we planning on traveling today?
I don't intend to travel at all.
At all.
As long as Miss Black Mountain has no qualms with it. I'm exceedingly tired from last night, and I can imagine in any amount of combat we would be worthless.
Sword packs.
Whole packs?
Yeah, they're backpacks.
How many?
Fair.
Okay.
If you want to get on that, I'm going to
Jesus,
start
okay.
looking for people.
All right. I'm gonna use my sword to create graves for all of us.
Okay.
Alright.
Do you make sloped graves?
Yes. All right. So what I'm thinking is I cut
The water comes out.
What do you want to do?
layer off, cut what layer off,
I'm
cut
gonna
layer off, and then dig it into a cave.
There
have
you
the
go.
horses some more,
Oh.
and then go run off looking for the people.
So you run off and
You'll
you
see
see,
me looking for them too.
yeah, you see these two are already kind of like, they're spread out and looking
I
around.
would like to be clear.
I'm
I'm not looking for people. I'm
Okay,
looking
you're
for
just
their
looking
belongings.
Kind of gear.
I'm whistling
Okay.
as loud as I can.
I'm
I've been practicing.
I'm looking for divots from where they hit.
Go ahead and make a survival check at advantage.
But I am, like, if people go by, I'm like, oh, I'm looking for him.
Okay.
Do you want me to do a deception
No.
disadvantage?
Unless someone's
We don't
actually
care.
looking.
Okay.
We don't care what you're
We're
doing.
leaving
I'm sure it'll probably
You're
come
out
up
there. We
anyway.
assume you're looking for
Huh?
people.
Okay.
17. Looking around, you begin to see some pretty good, sized chunks. You see occasionally like a pauldron that's kind of like hanging out. You see a little bit of blood.
Oh, Pick
Um,
up a pauldron.
Blink. And you begin to sort of track through following that. You see Zongat kind of like, and then he begins kind of like following it.
Oh.
So you guys begin to follow
Could
along. You're
they-
still looking for the gear.
Yeah, could they have gotten blown into any, like you said, this is all like the blowing damage is non-lethal, but if they hit like a tree or something, would that be lethal?
Yeah, they probably
Or
did.
rock.
But
Okay,
there's no
or
trees,
rock.
but there are rocks.
How big are the pieces of tent?
Huh?
How big are the pieces of tent?
They're like, you're talking about like support pieces, like bendy wood pieces that are
Not
used to
like
like put together.
Floppy pieces?
No,
Body pieces are gone.
those
I
just,
thought maybe they'd be
There's
like
not
going to
be
stuck
any
on things.
shelter
They-
left.
that's
No,
on
they
the other
have
side of the
shelter,
they were
like-
moving 120 feet per round.
Yeah.
6 seconds, they're
Yeah.
moving 120 feet.
Yeah, if they caught on a tree, they either tore themselves to pieces or they tore that part of the tree off.
Those are for sure Z's gone.
But it wasn't like for shelter, so we could make like cloaks and stuff out of it. That's why I was wondering.
Still.
Yeah, they're-
You ever seen a hurricane blow a stop sign away just by the wind resistance on the stop sign?
So sword, 2 packs,
Yeah.
the tent.
I was thinking about the
Am I
reporter that
anything
got
else?
hit by one.
No.
I like that.
It's pretty good. Shot in front of
Come.
Stop with your news.
So you guys, having been severely beaten and battered, you begin to make your holes. Go ahead and make an athletic check at disadvantage, sir.
Are you upset? Are you calculating?
Well, he only rolled
Upset.
once, and he looks upset. I don't think he needs to roll again.
Is it a natural 20 or
it's,
something?
yeah, it's a natural 20.
Oh.
No, it's not.
Is it a 1?
5. So you begin digging it. It's slow going. It's like he like digs in the sword.
Wait,
and
athletics?
Yes.
7.
7. You cut through, and it's not that it's hard to do this. It's just you're so tired,
for me.
and you've been using your muscles to keep yourself from just getting beaten around. So you just like dig in. You're on your hands and knees, and as you carve out the shape easy, you begin to kind of like a little handful, a little bit more handful.
Yeah.
I mean, you can spend your day doing this and create some good.
Going to spend my day doing it.
You take pauses and you drink. You can fill up your skins from the rain as it fills up those holes. that
My
you're
goal
making.
being that I get a hole deep and then back so that we've got a little bit of shelter. Like a pseudo cave.
Yeah. So that's what you spend your time doing. You're helping him.
I'm climbing my way back over there.
Slowly making your way back over there. Well, you don't have to worry about that.
He's
You
a
can,
step away from not being able to move.
Yeah.
you're just like trudging through the rain and everything's still hitting you, and it's not fun. Zongak is you Theta, and Lucrezia slightly behind. You guys begin to kind of look around. You find the first signs of one of your early compatriots who is currently unconscious. The gentleman with the shield and spear seems to be kind of like hanging. He dug his spear into the ground and he's like run it through the side of his armor, so it's like holding him there. And you notice that he is unconscious. He's stabilized but at 0. So he's just kind of like face down in a little bit of mud. You can see as it blows out. Which he's just kind of like
Pull out a potion.
boop, bloop.
Nope.
Go ahead and roll.
Squeeze it. Don't squeeze it.
It's glass.
Yeah, you shotgun a bottle of beer.
Theta, as you walk up, you also see this gentleman kind of like laying sideways.
Oh.
Okay, that's 7.
7 points. He seems to be mostly in good shape. His gear is covered in mud and in grime.
Does it look like he's missing a pauldron?
No,
Okay.
not
Is
his.
this Elvin?
This is Elvin, yeah.
Okay.
His shield is nowhere to be found.
What about the guy with the horse? What about the other horse?
The horse is currently laying down. It was laying down next to
Okay.
the other ones.
Good.
Where he had put it up at. He, however, is nowhere to be found.
Elvin, how are you?
As he kind of rouses up, you see like the eyes kind of like come into focus.
Wakey,
They
wakey,
dilate.
wakey.
He kind of rolls over. He's just like he tries to roll over, but the
Yeah.
spear is currently worked through, and he's just like, oh.
Elvin, it's over. Breathe.
There's just rain coming down. He's like,
I mean, it's still wet and sad, but
It's
it's over. We need to find the other ones though, because they're gone.
we were in the thing, and we tried to get out, and then everything went dark. It's just like my feet was. I don't think I had feet last night. Like,
Fair.
I've
We
been there,
dug
too.
ourselves in as best we could. One of our companions is making
grapes.
divots
They're
for
graves.
us
They're graves.
to rest in. I know, but that was immediately what they went to. And he's like, wait, I'm not supposed to call them graves.
he's kind of like nodding.
Yes. So we need to find the others. So at the very least, we can get back to the grave, not graves, so that we can hunker down for the night again. So maybe tomorrow we're less useless.
I grab him by his collar and hook his
His vest.
ear and then
Oh,
lower him down.
he just kind of like rolls over, and he's like, rain.
Okay, Alvin, that's nice and all, but you can sleep later.
He
Spear on his chest and go, okay.
He gets up and he kind of like grabs a spear and he's using it as like a walking stick. And he begins kind of joining you in your fan out to look for the others. Ultimately, you do end up finding Mr. Ahmad.
How's he doing?
He does not look good. He's currently in the ground. He basically put arrows into the ground, and then he pulled out more and began pinning like his cloak to the floor with as many as he could. And he's just kind of like hunkered down. As you approach, the winch is hitting him. He looks. What's that like? I've given up on existence face.
Oh.
You know, like
Just
he's got like
staring
a
into
1,000
the
yards.
distance.
Even as you walk by, it's like he hasn't even like recognized you. And
Come
he's-
on, how's your leg?
It hurts so bad. Everything hurts so bad. I'm so fucking hungry. He's just like laying there.
Come on, here. I'm gonna pull out a ration. I have these.
Kind of reaches out like weakly, and he's like eating it. And he like begins undoing the arrows.
I'll help him while he's eating.
No, I give him.
Puts it into his like leg or his like hip thing. And he keeps getting up. He's at one. He's at.
We need to find the other two.
And he's like, yeah, they were caught off guard. Anybody happen to see my pack?
Maybe one of our other companions is looking for stuff,
Okay.
gathering belongings. She found a pauldron. No,
No, I
you
have
found
the
a pauldron. Are you missing a pauldron?
I'd
You
like
don't
to
wear
go through the
pauldrons.
past. That's weird.
Okay. Make an investigation check, please. At disadvantage
Yeah.
because you are all messed up.
That's weird.
And a part of you is like, I shouldn't steal from
12.
Adventuring Compatriots.
12. Looking around, they have the same stuff that anybody would have. Sticks for torches, rope. Well, at least from the two packs that you have, there's a small amount of coin. You're talking like 15 silver.
You gotta remember.
Nothing.
this girl don't have anything.
Any potions or anything like strange? Okay.
No, that's not at least.
That's
the
rich
gentleman.
people stuff.
Yeah.
You get the sense that these are the younger ones. Probably didn't know that.
I'll just like take them and I'll take all the stuff I find back to the cart and I'll just like put it around the cart for now.
Okay, so you go and take a walk back. You just drop it down. You just lay down there,
Oh,
resting.
graves.
You just see him. He's on his hands and knees digging holes, and he's just like.
Why are you just doing a big hole instead of little holes?
You have any fucking idea how heavy this dirt is?
Oh, 'cause I'm not digging.
Yeah, I see that.
I'm helping.
Thank
You
you.
go over and help.
I didn't say that. I said I'm helping the cause.
I'm helping the cause.
What do you?
You expectantly wait, and you're just like dumping out.
Do you want to make this one big hole instead
Let's just
and
get.
just make it deeper?
Let's
Can
just
I use
get a
Mage Hand
whole.
to help him?
Hell yeah.
It can pick up 10 pounds. I'll say you can help. It's gonna be
You
slow
can
going. It's just like
Let's just
get
a hole,
going, and it's just like
and then
moving
we'll
it
build
slowly.
chairs.
It's a cantrip.
Okay.
I
You're
don't
just
care.
holding your hand out, just like.
like a cat paw.
It's just like
And you just see the hand going and being like a little bulldozer. It's like pushing a little.
Thank you.
So I just did some research. You're not gonna like the numbers. I just pulled out.
You shut your whore mouth. You
So-
shut your luxury
If you
slut
wanna
mouth.
know- If you want to know how much soil weighs,
No, I
a
don't.
cubic yard of soil, when dry, weighs a ton. It weighs 2,000 pounds. When saturated, it half against that weight to 3,000 pounds.
Well, good
Wow.
thing
For
we
a
have.
3
Yeah,
by
but
3
DM, what are
Magic.
your
by
what are
3
your
foot
thoughts?
area.
I don't think he's digging that much. It's
Jesus.
like a little
I think it's.
It's
I
3 by
imagine
3
it
by
was.
3.
I imagine it was like somewhere where you like put your feet to anchor and then sleep on the ground. Like,
It
so
is-
like the wind
So-
doesn't take
It is as deep as this sword is. That is
We
it.
should have got.
Well, cutting it's easy.
Yeah.
Cutting
It's
taking
easy.
it out is the hard
Are
part.
we not making a
Cut
big
it at an
hole?
angle.
I need to know before I start.
I'm making a person-sized hole.
Why don't we just make a picture?
Just
Foxholes.
because this is heavy and slow going. If we can just get
If I help
something,
you make a bigger hole,
yes.
alright.
If
I'll
we can
help
just
you
get
make a
in the
bigger
ground,
Fair
then
enough.
we're fine.
hole. How do I do that?
You can go ahead and make an athletics check and just.
What am I digging with? My
Your
crowbar?
bare hands.
Yeah, I just
No,
need you to
crowbar's
get
not
the
gonna-
I can't
soil.
like dig with it?
I just
You
need
can,
to
but
get
it's gonna be. It would be slower than just
Okay.
digging your hand in and
I'll do
pushing stuff out of the way.
hands. And then what is
That's
it?
an insane.
Disadvantage athletics checks.
That number's so crazy to me.
Well, Lou, I mean,
Five.
cutting
So,
is easy. I'll
You
cut it up
guys
into
manage
easy.
to as you're traveling down, you begin to spread out. You're getting further and further away from the carts. You can see them farther off, still
I'm gonna
knocked
keep an eye on the
over.
weather, but I'm still concerned about these people.
Looking around, you do manage to find Mr. Clemens.
Oh.
Currently,
If only we had like the mover.
he's laying on the ground. He seems tired. He has his.
I'm also gonna keep an eye out for that guy's shield.
Trying.
Yeah, I know.
You
I
see,
appreciate it.
Clemens has his sword in the ground, and he has his shield over top, and it's kind of like he's like resting like this,
Oh, nice.
just like sword in, shield up, using it as like a buffer, and he seems to be actually asleep.
Oh.
I don't know.
There's I mean, he's already soaked.
He's just getting battered by rain. You don't notice at all. You just like touch him, and he's like,
Right.
back. He kind of like shakes away. He goes to pick up the sword, but you can see his muscles just kind of like give out, and he's like, "Is it over?"
It's still windy.
Kind of. The big wind is gone, but wind remains.
Cauldron?
Oh. Yeah, he's missing one of his. Just like you see the leather underbacking and then like some chainmail that's sticking out, and he's like, "Yeah, it's fine." Takes it. It's like as he grabs it, you just see his hand just like go down and clack to the ground. He's like, "Ah,
Did you see Mr. Timon?
yeah, I think he's that way." And he like points off to one side, and then he kind of like adjusts. Like, I think I saw him tumbling past. Oh no, there he is. And in the, you just see like this, there's like grass and then just all down into one area. He's like, I think that's him. Oh god. And then he slowly starts getting up with groans as he takes an additional level of exhaustion because he's wearing armor. So, as does the other gentleman. Who, as you begin to kind of head over there, you just see him like, he's laying on his back. He seems to be awake.
Hello.
And his face is all beat up. His helmet's nowhere to be seen that he was wearing earlier. His armor's all caked and stuff. He seems actually partially like, embedded in the ground. Like he just has like, from all that weight, just like banging around. He's just laying there like.
I'm gonna pull out some. Come and pull out my cat spot, thieves tool, and start prying him out of the mud.
Over time, he begins to kind of, he gets up and he's like,
I help him.
"Have you guys seen our stuff?
I don't know. I
found
don't know
the
exactly
cauldron.
what your stuff looks like, but someone was collecting stuff.
Is Brittany okay?"
Yes.
Who's Brittany?
The horse. Yeah, you guys named it. I didn't name it.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
I saved the horse. Me and Mr. Righty on the cart guy saved it.
Oh, Mr. Florin.
Is he alive?
Yes.
Yes.
Mr. Florin and Miss Beryl are both alive.
Okay.
Miss Beryl's actually fine, honestly. The cart barely even flipped over.
Well, I guess that's a good thing. All right. And he kind of gets up and he stretches and you hear some pops and some and then he's like, okay.
Did you see a shield anywhere? No?
I saw all kinds of things flying last night. I think I lost my tent.
Yes, you did. I saw it.
Shit. Okay.
We lost ours too. I mean, it wasn't ours, but it was hers. But yeah, those are gone. Gone, gone, gone.
Okay. And then he's like, he begins kind of like trudging back towards the.
We're digging holes.
Might as well.
Back at camp.
Starts like trudging. They all begin to trudge back. And that, I think, is a good place to end it. So we're gonna be, we're gonna call it right there.
I'm looking for a shield.
All right, go ahead and make
I'm
one
gonna-
last investigation check, sir.
Ooh, that's wow. Okay, 22.
Yeah. As you're kind of like heading back, you stop and you turn around for a minute, and you see where all the grass is blowing. You see it like hitting something, like just out of view. And you instinctively head over there, and you find it just in the ground, like halfway. You kind of wrestle it free with some, and then it's covered in dirt and mud. Right.
I have love exhaustion.
Just like, the gears are slowing down. But that is a good place to end. So we will be right back. We're going to go down and then we'll come back up to do some talk back. So I hope you guys are enjoying. We should be right back. Thanks for everybody that's been hanging out with us so far.
If you got any questions, save them and ask them then.
Yeah, be right back.
Why did we get defeated by wind?
Why did
Why do we have fucking 3 levels of exhaustion? Find out next time. Or 4.
Or this
All right, here we go. Slide back into frame here. All right. Hey everybody, I'm Soul Roast. These are my friends. Welcome back.
I'm
So some people had to dip out due to work and stuff. So
Some people are fat.
some people have to grab some snackies. We're back. So at the end of every session, we usually do a talk back where we talk about all kinds of stuff. Usually Dungeons and Dragons, specifically stuff about this campaign, mechanics, homebrew, whatever, classes, doesn't matter, or just talk about anything. So if that is something you're interested in, hang out with us for the next like 30 or so minutes, and we will answer your questions, or you can ask our opinions, or if you have your own stuff that you'd like to talk about, feel free. We'll comment and we'll give you a thumbs up or whatever you need. And with that, we have a sub-only Discord for subs, so if that's something you're interested in, we're on there all the time. If you want to talk to us whenever, or hang out with us, or do sub-only games, we do that. And sometimes we plan on doing some other stuff with sub stuff. So
Yeah.
That's something to look forward to. One shots, other games. We might play. I played League with some of the guys before. So we do all kinds of
I
stuff.
was also planning a West Marches.
We are planning a West Marches style thing. I'm gonna make.
Can somebody fucking explain that
Yes,
to
I
me?
can. So a West Marches style game is a game that is entirely run by players. What happens is we provide a map with nothing on it but one town. Nothing happens in the town, right?
Okay.
Then players choose a place on the map and they say, I want to adventure here. And then a DM will say, oh, I'll DM an adventure that goes there. And then so the players know what they want to do, and then the DM says, oh, I'll DM that game for you. Then you play through, and it's assumed that you go through that adventure during the session, and then at the end of that adventure, you go home, right? It's a game that it just allows you to play the game without worrying about 10-page backstories. You're not going to have any of that stuff. But then what happens is once that's put there, so you pick this hex on the map and this is where this adventure takes place, that's there forever.
Okay.
Which means then we update the map to have, this took place here. So now if they do a dungeon there, that means there's a dungeon there. And the next person can come in and be like, oh, well, they killed all the goblins that are in this dungeon. Maybe ogres moved in and now it's a new adventure. A new adventure and treasure and stuff.
That makes a lot more sense. Cool, thank you.
But what that means too is it means that there's going to be more rules for character creation, obviously, because everyone has to be on the same page. We're going to use mostly Adventure League rules with a couple tweaks, but there won't be any homebrew. It's all going to be from the books. Everyone's going to start at level 1, but it also means that if you play a lot and Boy plays only a couple times, it means that you could be level 5, you could be level 1, and you can still party up and go on an adventure. Like a real. So your characters are not the main characters; they're just adventurers doing adventures. So that is in the works. Working on a. We're going to create a map together as a group, and then we'll throw it up whenever we decide to do that. So, yeah, if you have any questions, throw them up there. We are doing a D&D related giveaway at 200 followers or 10 subs, whichever one comes first. So, if that's something you're looking forward to, tell your friends, come hang out with us. So, what do you guys think about the session?
I liked it.
Overall?
That's fun.
You liked fighting a hurricane? I was Googling hurricane mechanics. As you do.
I think I kicked its ass.
I think I kicked its ass. Well, that's fine. So, yeah, I figured we'd do some different. We're gonna mix in some other things here. Truncating travel. How do you feel about that?
I kind of like it.
It was a lot better than what we
Previously
had been doing.
Yeah.
Just kind of like narrating each day and
Mhm.
the passes and allowing for certain things. The only thing I'm mostly concerned about is for the for gathering food.
Yeah.
I had to look up starvation mechanics, dehydration mechanics, what heavy rain and wind do, what storms do, how to end exhaustion. So yeah, I'm glad you guys had fun. Oh yeah.
So I already have my character pretty much built for the West Marches thing.
Yeah.
Yep. Just gonna be a
Come here. Hey, butthead.
lizard
outside
man
talking
druid.
about
Come here. Come here. Come here, butthead. Come here, munchkin.
That'll be fun.
You're gonna do lizard man druid. So yeah, so it's standard array. It's gonna be player's handbook +1, which means when you create your character, you can only use player's handbook +1 additional book, nothing else. So if you want to make a orc character, you have to use Volo's guide and this, which means you cannot use any classes from this. So that's how that works. So if you want to play something from this, you have to use a race from the player's handbook and then mix it with this. However, the one tweak that we are doing is that anything out of any spells out of Xanathar's are going to be open game for people to use, just because I don't see the point in limiting the spells. It just doesn't make sense to me. So, but that's in the works. That's coming. I wouldn't say soon. I wouldn't say that at all. It's just a lot of planning and then building another Discord full of bots and stuff for it. So we need to get some Discord bots.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, if you guys
It's
have any
totally
questions,
possible.
throw them in there. You guys have anything specifically you would like to talk about? Anything that interests you?
It doesn't have to be related to this game. It doesn't even have to be related to D&D. This is just kind of our like chill out and decompress from the stream. We like chatting, and we're more than happy to talk about D&D. Don't get me wrong.
Were these helpful at all?
Yeah.
Okay. I was thinking about making one for actions in combat too. Like they had like the hold action, shove,
I
tumble.
was going to draw a map, but I don't have any crayons.
Fair enough. You got to get them special ordered.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm glad. Everybody have fun. How close are you guys to the next level? I'm curious.
I'm halfway.
What's the next level?
I have
It's
no idea.
6,500. I'm at 3980.
Yeah, I'm at the same.
Cool. And there's some more stuff coming up, so hopefully this, did anybody,
Then my speed goes up to 40, and I get another attack.
nobody was looking for anything during the, storm, huh? Right?
No,
There was no perception checks during the
No.
hurricane?
it wasn't worth doing.
I was doing it for the horses.
Well, I was trying to figure out if it was magical.
Magical.
That's the most I did.
It's not magical. It's non-magical.
Just shitty.
It was shitty weather. Yeah, so if you roll, there's actually a table in the DMG, and it's like in order to get severe weather, you have to roll like a 90 or higher, and just so happened to get that. And then I was like, oh, this is kind of perfect. It just falls in, I'm like, well, just something that never happens. Never really worry about it. Just not important. So if you're just joining us, we are talking about anything. Talking about Dungeons & Dragons. We just finished our campaign for today, or this episode. So if you got anything you would like to talk about, you have any questions, just want to hang out and chat, feel free to do so.
And
I was looking at builds for West Marches. I think I have so many options, but honestly, it only comes down to like two. Either going to do like Orc Ranger or Human Fighter, because I think I figured out how to make the Ninja without cross-classing, just Ninja. So
I was looking at stuff, and I'm like, well, we rarely have somebody that wants to be a dedicated healer.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, fuck, I'll do it. I'll probably be playing it most of the time. So
What is that, motherfuckers? Oh, hey! We got a whole new sub. What's going on, buddy? We got ourselves a Twitch Prime sub.
I just signed up for Amazon Prime,
Uh-huh.
and I linked it, and I went to go into channels to use it, and before I had a chance to use it, I was gifted 2 subs in 2 different channels, and I was just like, I came here to use my... Thank you, God. I was so annoyed.
I was gonna use mine anyway.
And then I was sitting here, I'm like, ooh, and Twitch, I love you. Your site is a bitch to navigate on mobile. Like, it's bad.
Woo! New sub. What up?
Just for this month, it's going somewhere else
Yeah,
next month.
obviously. I didn't even use mine. I have one.
he just wants to be in the Discord that he's already in.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah, I need that.
Yeah.
Uber mod me.
Uber mod me. It would be nice to have some of those too. But it's okay though because I have access here, so I can just, if I needed to, just fucking lay it down. But anyway, yeah. So West Marches is coming up. We are talking about doing a 12-hour stream, 12 hours of tabletop RPGs. Talked to Tiff, and she wants to do a different game. There's one called Monster of the Week, and there's one called Something Shadow that she said sounds really fun. So she's thinking about running one of those. I was thinking about doing a superhero game, maybe, where everybody plays superheroes and we just fucking go ham, see what happens. But hers sounds interesting. It's like basically like a, what is that, like television show? Monster of the Week is literally like every episode it's like hunting or like fighting a monster of some sort. And then it has like, it not even close at the end. There's like so many different mechanics.
Would you want to do something like just a normal board game, like there's a Catan or
Possibly.
something like that? Because there was that Catan idea that I had. It's still fully admit half baked is all shit. I just had the thought, like I woke up from a dream in the middle of the night and I was sitting there trying to distract myself from it, and I went, that could be kind of cool if we like role play. Because the problem with Catan, I feel, is there's not enough negative consequences in the game, and so if we built a couple of those and then gave people invested interests, we can make it a kind of cool, like a much smaller scale risk.
Mm-hmm.
We also
Because
have
fuck risk. And if you have friends who love to play risk, or if you love to play risk, I don't mean to offend you, but there's something wrong with you. It is such a long form game. It's where like I can get people that like Monopoly. That's fine. Like it's a brutal game and it's weird and bad. But risk. Yeah, I know you do. Because there's something wrong with you. You're a monster.
I also like they have like new ones now where you can get like fucking big giant robots and stuff.
I played the shit out of the Lord of the Rings Risk. That one's really fun because the map's totally different, and the map makes sense for Risk in Lord of the Rings, but every map or every match of Risk I've ever played always ends up the same way, which is you get to a certain point and people go, I'm done. Like, it was fun, but it's been 3 hours, and I'm
spent.
we're at a standstill. We can attack each other, and then one of us will win and one of us will lose, but I don't feel like doing the math.
You should get, I'm telling you, you should both get the fucking spy party thing so we can fucking blast each other.
Spy Party. I could not remember the name of it.
It's fun.
For the life of me.
We've been playing it, just fucking shooting each other. It's a lot of fun because you pretend to be an NPC, and so you walk around and you try to like be as fluid as possible, because the minute you see somebody like stutter step or like walk into a wall, you're like, and you shoot that motherfucker, and it's usually them. But then there's all these little things like my personal favorite
Have you ever
is
tried any of the Gmod games?
no.
Like Trouble in Terrorist Town and shit like that?
Yeah, I've seen those games before. Yeah,
Where you have roles and then you have to figure out whose
Yeah.
role is what, and it's all about lying to your friends?
it's kind of like that, except right now it's only one-on-one.
Well, there's like the one that's like, it's based on the ship and you have a couple of special
Oh.
abilities, but there's,
I love that game. The
But-
ship's so much.
yeah, but there's 5 player archetypes. And it's basically prop hunt, except you're people, and there's people everywhere. But in this one, all the people that are around are like super fucking glitchy. Like they walk into walls, they sit down in doorways and shit like that. So you're attempting to emulate them, and then like some people have like a slow mo, some people have like a flashbang, some people can send out a decoy and things like that. It's interesting the way that one works. I have to find the actual name of it. I can't remember. It's not Trouble in Terrorist Town, but it's basically the same shit.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Check it out. $20. Totally worth it. Shoot your friends.
we also have Betrayal, but it's a D&D version.
Oh, that's Baldur's Gate. Trail of Baldur's Gate. D&D.
Dude, it still blows my mind that we've played House on the Hill as many times as we have, and we haven't even like scratched the fucking surface on
Yeah.
endings.
That's
Like,
true.
Like we've played it and we've gotten the same ending like 3 times at one.
We've gotten a lot of.
Yeah.
I think the werewolf is a lot. We've gotten.
Werewolf,
Yeah.
the vampire, the witch, with the cats everywhere, and you have to. You're
Yeah.
tiny and you have to move. And you only
Yeah.
move like
Yeah.
one room at a time.
I like
or
that
some
one,
shit.
though.
We escaped on that one, but then I pointed out the really depressing truth, which was, yay, we escaped the witch in a model airplane. Now we're tiny human beings in the world.
Sweet.
To me, that was
Hooray.
the fucking greatest.
Yeah,
I want a sword that's made out of a fucking safety pin.
I don't want to. I'll nerd out again. Watching that, the Secret Life of Arietti or whatever.
Dude, Secret Life area pisses me off so much.
She pulls out the pin. and I was just like,
It's such a good movie, and then it ends, and you go, "Where's the other half of my movie?"
right.
Like,
Oh yeah, you want.
yeah, I just feel like that one ends prematurely. Like especially if you compare it to Miyazaki's other stuff, it feels like a half-baked story. Like it feels like a short story he wrote and was like, "I'll come back to that," and then somebody was like, "We'll make a movie out of this," and didn't read the last page.
Yeah.
And went, "Oh, it ends." I mean, people will understand.
I made a character after the girl from what's her name?
Yeah,
San from Princess Mononoke. Chick on the Wolf.
I know who you're
I
talking
made
about.
that. I made that in D&D.
Yeah.
Super easy. That was the one that I was really proud of because it's one of those things that does
Is
really
it a
a ranger.
ranger? Yeah.
Ranger spellless variant. Charger. Because all she does is run at people and
She
stab
just-
them one
that's
time.
all she does.
So you just charge her, dagger, not wearing any armor, 'cause fuck you, and she just runs at people and charges them,
She got nice.
and she stabs them. That's it. And the funny thing was, is looking at the build and the way that it because if you take, you could do Beastmaster if you wanted the pet.
Oh, that's my stuff. Never mind.
If you wanted the pet, you could do the Beastmaster, get the wolf. But fuck that, because she didn't actually have the wolf. The wolf did whatever it wanted.
Yeah.
So that means that
She
would
was
be like,
along for the ride.
so you do like a hunter, and so you take like, giant or colossal slayer and stuff like that, and you just run at people and stab them one time. And at like 1 to 5, you'd be doing some fucking damage. Like
Yeah.
Human variant charger with, level 3, you're dealing like 1d4 plus 1d8 plus 10 plus your modifier. So like max damage potential is 30, but it never goes up. That's
Oh.
it. That's the highest it gets the whole
So
game.
once you get past level 5, it's
You get another dagger stab, but I mean, if you want to stay true, I would play just to stay true to the fucking stabby thing. That'd be fun. Because at early levels, you'd be like, damn, dude, just fucking running up,
Yeah.
fucking shanking people. But then everyone else is getting more and more damage, and you're just like,
this is what I do.
This is how
I
fight.
break a door.
And the spell variant, you also get all the maneuvers, so it's
Oh yeah, maneuvers, so you can do more damage, which would be fucking badass. I used Eldritch Knight for my ninja, and I got it to work.
Oh, I do have an announcement that has nothing to do with the stream. I'm finally taking my car to the mechanic tomorrow morning.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, we're gonna get a diagnosis and see how much money that's gonna cost me.
are you excited? I can do the same thing with my truck, but
Well, I've had the long start for forever, and
Mhm.
the ABS light just popped on, and I looked at her and I went, "Nah, fuck it." Like, because I've been doing a lot of my own work. Like, because I got the fuel injectors replaced, it didn't fix the problem, so I started hunting it down because I was mad. And I replaced the O2 sensors, and I replaced the spark plugs, and I replaced the PCM. I went through all this shit, and it still has the same fucking problems. And I'm like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. Like, I'm not a fucking mechanic. So
Right.
I'm gonna go throw money at this problem and see if that fixes it.
see if that solves the issue.
Yeah.
oh yeah, your present should be coming in like a week.
Hope you like my present. Let me know how it goes, because
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
gonna let you know here in a minute.
And he will be painted. Because I looked at a bunch of those and I'm like, these are the 3 I like. Because the other ones were like, fuck, they had their intestines hanging out and like maggots all over them. Like, I mean,
That could be cool, but also could be content.
Yeah.
Someday I'll play a Lizardman Necromancer. I think that'd be fun. I also want to play an Orc Necromancer. I have small goals.
I like the idea of the one from Goblin Slayer.
Oh, the one that summons ancestral spirits?
Yeah, that one's cool.
Yeah.
I mean, essentially, it's just a necromancer, but you're like, oh, you just color it different. He's not evil. He's summoning his own fucking people.
And that's it, man.
he's Mulan.
Badass. She's badass.
I watched Mulan 2. Have you seen it? It's rough.
Usually, the second of any of those
Is that
Disney
the one
movies
where she
usually
becomes a
has-
concubine for Genghis Khan?
It might have been Mulan 3, to be completely honest with you. I can't remember which one it was.
I know they fought Khan in the first one and like beat him or whatever. Like the premise of the movie.
Kind of. But yeah, no. There's one where like
The actual story is
Mushu's jealous, and that's the entire plot of the fucking movie.
He's jealous of what? Like Mulan's kid or some shit?
No, because if Mulan marries a dude, then her ancestral line ends, which means
Oh.
he's no longer a guardian. He goes back to bitch work
Ah.
because the husband's guardians will be merged with the family, and his guardians will be the dominant ones. And so yeah,
Is it even the same voice actor?
No, of course it's not Eddie Murphy. Like,
Because that would cost money.
yeah,
That's why when you get into like 2 and 3,
that's one of the things that upset me, because Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs 2 is legitimately a phenomenal movie.
Yeah,
It's
for sure.
well done, it's well written, everything like that, and it pisses me off they couldn't get the same voice actors back for it. Because I was like, man, if this was the original cast, this would have flown. Like,
Yeah.
also, if you've seen the first one, you know what I'm talking about. The second one ends literally 30 seconds, or the second one begins literally 30 seconds after the first one ends.
Yeah. I knew it was good.
Yeah, because they got Bill Hader and all them.
Butter.
There's
I still have that soundbite on my phone.
I like it.
He died at that soundbite.
I did.
We
I
had to
broke.
pause
It
the
broke.
fucking
I
movie.
broke me. I wasn't ready. Could you kick that to me, please? The little bottle. Thanks, sir.
See, like I said, it doesn't have to be about D&D.
Yeah, it can be about anything. Talk to us about anything. I started playing League again the other day. That was It was just like I remember. People banning all the champions you want to play.
Oh, did you see the new trailer for Aatrox?
I did.
Aatrox.
Aatrox. He looks fucking beastly. Yo, so I was making people mad. Apparently, I have no
Did
idea.
you get told to drink bleaching?
Well, similar. Some guy was like just raging about how my champion was a joke. So basically, I wanted to play Pike.
What's
Oh.
Pike?
He's the new champion, the Blood Harbor Ripper or whatever.
Okay.
He's supposed to be a support, but he does crazy damage. But his ultimate basically allows him to, anytime he kills somebody, he gives credit to whoever assisted
Oh,
him.
that's right. You told me about him.
So it's basically somebody you can run around sniping kills from people, but it gives it to somebody else. So you're like, no, it's not really me sniping. You're getting all the credit. But it's built for me because I just love running around fucking shit up. But anyway, so it kept getting banned over and over again. And then finally it was open, and I was like, oh, sweet. I'm going to fucking snag it up. And the enemy team grabbed it. And I was like, oh, god damn it. So I fucking jump on Vladimir because, I wanted to win. So we get into the game, and I just proceeded to trounce. I just made everyone. It took their entire team to kill me one time, because eventually it just became raid boss Vladimir, just running through, just just fucking draining people, just fucking them up. So they were trying to 2v3 or 2v1 and 3v1 me, and I was just blowing up their whole team, just fucking outplaying people just left and right, and every time double kill, triple kill, double kill, just fucking walking through, and then the hate started. Just fucking, the enemy team was just
the salt flowed.
yeah, it was fucking. Oh, it'd be nice if that champion was hard to play, which is not true. It's one of the hardest champions in the game to play. It would be nice if that champion actually took skill. You're fucking garbage. Oh, yeah. I was like, really? Come on! It's that was my third game in.
Dude, I've been playing more Overwatch recently because the anniversary just ended. I missed the end of it, but I got all the cheap things I wanted. I have no more currency.
Yeah,
I just went through. Well, I spent it all on the limited edition shit, just so I could get things. And I was
Right.
like, oh, I want these things before they're gone. And now I have 5 coins.
Right.
The cheapest thing is 25 coins.
Nice.
The legendary skins are 3,000 coins. But I've been playing a lot, and I mostly play Mystery Heroes because in Mystery Heroes there's no fucking there's no pressure. Nobody gets real salty or anything like that. It sucks sometimes. We got melted. We had a payload map. We were on King's Row defending, and the other team got 2 Bastions, a Torbjorn, a Reinhardt, and an Orisa. And then the other person just kept diving, their other player just kept running in and getting killed until they became a Mercy, and then they just sat and damage boosted the Bastions. So they just, the payload didn't slow down from the point of capture to the goal. It just mowed through our entire, because there was nothing we could do. It was just 2 Bastions focusing people down through 2 shields. And we were like, well, that's fucking. But and that was an anomaly, obviously. But so I've been playing that a lot, and then I finished all my loot boxes on that. And I was like, okay, I'll play quick play to get level up and this and that, because I finally rotated around, level 5 again, because I prestiged, which was nice. Not bad for owning the game since launch.
That's alright. I'm 25.
High enough to play competitive?
I'm 0.
I have, yeah. I think I played 1.
I think 25 is the minimum. But so I've been playing quick play, and it's so upsetting to play quick play, man. You get into quick play, and my computer's slow, so it loads up, and I hear ching, 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 and I hear 3 people lock in. It opens, and all 3 of them are DPS immediately, and it's always a Genji and shit like that. I'm like, okay. So then I'll pick somebody usually a tank or a support, but I got tired of playing support, so I picked a tank. And then the last person picked a Torbjorn or something, and the Genji comes on voice chat, and he goes, yo, can we get a healer? And I broke. I was so mad. I was just like, bro, you don't complain about not having a healer. Be one if it's a problem. We have 4 DPS on this team and 1 tank. You be a healer. Fuck you.
Right.
So I got so
Instalock.
mad. I was just, Instalock. And then, of course, there's the 12-year-olds that are on there, which I don't mind playing with 12-year-olds if they're all right. But when they're fucking hot micing the entire time, they're yelling, and their microphone sounds terrible, and they don't stop talking, and you're just you're not giving call-outs, you're not anything. Yeah, but I hate muting people because I'm just hey, if you could talk about what's going on in the match, we'd be good. If you're the only one talking, because my mic doesn't work right now because it's being stupid. I think my headset went out, and it's just not responding right. I love being on mic and talking with people and going, yo, Winston on the right, you know? Oh, shit, there's this Reaper behind us. Can we please kill him? Shit like that. I got so mad at a couple of these kids. I had to take a break. I was like, I'm walking away. I can't.
Can't rage at this right now. Well, there you go.
Behemoth.
Yes! I'm going to level up. We're doing this. It's ridiculous. We were going to play, but
Split
obviously we didn't for certain reasons.
Oh, me and
Celebration.
me and Young were there. We're like, it's his fucking birthday, isn't it?
Yeah, I called up.
But,
I actually wasn't going to, but then last minute I was like, I'll just.
yeah.
And I actually got it approved. I called ahead of time and like, hey. I didn't just call up and say I'm fucking out. I was like, can I take today off? Cool.
Yeah, so we.
I texted him though. Why would he be waiting? I texted him ahead of time saying like, hey.
Well, he was also fighting Elder Dragons on fucking Spear Girl or whatever he's on.
Mm-hmm.
But I was just sitting there. I'm just doing like I'm reading Dresden, the fucking
Yeah, the new one.
briefcases.
Yep.
While I have the headset on.
Did you
and
finish
Monster
it?
Hunters. Yeah, I finished it in a day.
Dude, at fucking, it came
I haven't
out.
finished it yet.
Time to read.
I haven't finished it.
Time to read is like 8 hours.
Really?
That's average time to read across readers. I was so mad when I saw that. I went, no.
You've been waiting all this time.
And I'd already read a
Some
bunch
of
of the
them are-
stories in it. I read one of the
really
Molly
good.
stories, and I read all 3 Bigfoot stories.
I'm currently at the very end of my other book, so I'm gonna finish that one first before I read the new one.
Dude,
I gotta wait.
there's really good stuff. I'm gonna warn you. There is a short story called Bombshells. And it's not at the very beginning of the story. It's maybe a chapter in, maybe 2 chapters in. But you're in Molly's head, and there's just like a paragraph. I had to close the book and put it down. I was fucking crying like a baby in my room. Just my heart going out to her. I was like, oh,
No, this girl.
fuck. And like having seen the end of that, like where it leads to and all that
Yeah.
stuff.
Mhm.
But like in that moment, because it's after changes. It might
And
be,
Ghost Story.
is it after Ghost Story? Okay, yeah, and it just hurt my fucking
Because it's when
soul.
she's trying to get herself back on track. She's not
Yes,
doing
that's
the
right.
rag lady as
Yeah.
much.
And it tells you about how she got her apartment, kind of, in a sideways fashion. They don't actually ever say it, but it's clearly that's what happened.
So, like Mr. Interior doesn't go up and go, here's your apartment.
Yeah. But
Good?
yeah,
Yeah.
I gotta finish 3
there's-
3 lines.
2 Dresden stories in
actually
there as well.
I need to read that too.
It's good.
What?
It's a non-stop. It just keeps
What story?
going. It's called Three Hearts, 3 Lines.
Came
Oh,
out
right,
in
you were
the
telling me about
70s or something.
The
No,
dude-
way before.
the
Like
dude-
80s or
The
something.
dude dips into the past, right?
No, he gets shot in the head and he wakes up in a fantasy world, and basically what I've learned now
yeah,
is
dips into the
that
past. Got it.
yeah, what I've learned now though is that it's basically a multiverse theory where people of importance in this world, this magical world, apparently like when during certain events they'll actually be shunted out into the real world and live their entire lives in the real world until they die in that world and then they return. So apparently like in the beginning of the story he wakes up and there's like armor and weapons and a horse, and he's like, what the fuck, and everything fits him, and he's like, this is weird, and everybody knows him, and he's like, that's weird, like what the fuck is going on? And then they revealed at one point that apparently he just like went to sleep one day and then he woke up and had a whole existence in a whole another world where he's a Danish pilot in like
That's right.
in one of the world wars. I think it's World War One. And yeah, he was on a beach, got shot in the fucking face, and then just woke back up in his home place because everybody seems to know who he is except him. And they keep talking about him because they're like, oh, we need to find this motherfucker that has 3 hearts, 3 lions. And that's what they're referencing. His shield has 3 hearts and 3 lions on it. And he's like, why is everybody looking for me again? So he's like covering it up and shit. But he's fought fucking dragons and fucking trolls and all kinds of shit. And he uses like science because he's like, oh shit. He's like, wait a minute. The dragon thing was hysterical because he basically beats a dragon with a bucket of water. Because he's like, wait a minute. He's like, I know from like jet fuel burns fucking crazy hot. So if you do like if you throw cold water into something that's like fucking crazy hot or whatever, it causes like a reaction. So he basically beats a dragon with a bucket of water. He's like, I have an idea, and like everyone's like freaking out. It's a fucking red dragon coming down the fucking thing, and he's like, yeah. And then he's like, wait a minute, and then it basically like blows the fucking thing to pieces. And he's like, huh, that worked because of the way that these react with each other. Like, They're just like, what the fuck? But it's pretty good. There's some really good moments. There's actually a really cool like siren scene that I liked a lot. I thought was fucking badass. It's like this fucking. It's basically it's like a demon, right? That this kind of like cult savage people worship. But she's not. She just takes their shit, and that's it. On that note, however, that is the end. That is where we're gonna wrap up. So thanks so much for hanging out with us. Hope you guys enjoyed. See you guys in the VOD, Mr. Rocco, and anybody else in Discord that are hanging out. We will be back for sure next Tuesday. Talk to you later. Bye. All right, gonna dip out here. Gonna turn everybody's mic down to 0. Disappear off screen. Mute.